I brought that.
Okay, welcome to our Consultant Basics training. Today is February 23rd of 2013, and this is an expanded version of Consultant Basics training. So we will try to stay on task here and take you through each chapter. And we're going to start with Contacts and Referrals, which is Consultant Basics training number 1. And I just want to give a few introductory comments about our business. It also has a little something to do with the chatter that I've been hearing. First of all, I'm Kathy Buter, and I've been with Cookie Lee this will be 11 years in April of this year. There's lots of things that I've learned, and there's a lot that I will forget to tell you because things become habit, and you just sort of assume people know these things. But there's a few things that I know to be true that I want to pass on. Number one, we're always learning, and the business is always changing. One of the most important things you should know as a brand new consultant is you should never make a decision about your business in leaving the business within the first year, ever. I don't care what's going on. When you decide you're joining this business, this type of business, you commit yourself for at least a year before you make a decision of what you're doing after that. But what does it take to build a business? It takes 3 years. 3 to 5 years to build a business. That's in any business that you are building. It's 3 to 5 years to build a good business. Right. So when you go open up a restaurant, you know you're not going to even turn a profit for 3 to 5 years. Or if you're turning a profit, you might still have large debt. So is it a great benefit to start a business at a low cost? You bet. Your risk is so much lower. You know, you open a restaurant, it's a minimum of $100,000 minimum. It's usually like $300,000. So when are you going to see that profit? I don't know. But when are you going to have a customer base and good traffic? 3 to 5 years. 3 to 5 years. What I do see that happens a lot, and it's really hard to turn somebody around when they get to that point, is people make decisions within that first year, and there is just no more definite way to fail than to quit. You can only fail if you quit. You have to know whenever you start something new, it's going to take a while to build a client base, to build a following, to build your own skills, and so allow yourself that time. I think it speaks volumes that you're here today. It absolutely does. The people that have walked before you in this business and have been successful go to the meetings, go to the trainings, go to the corporate events, and all of you here have done that. So you're giving your business what it needs. You have to educate yourself, and you have to be in it. You know? You have to be in it all the time. Do you get frustrated? Yeah. Do you say, this is just not for me? Of course. There's going to be moments.
That happens every day in every job.
Well, it does. It does.
It's not just this.
Happens in your marriage too. No, I'm kidding.
Don't get me started.
Don't go there, right? But allow yourself that grace. Allow yourself those times that this is that day that I'm just not having a good day. But learn how to pull yourself out of those cycles that I sent the training on the other day and start new. Every day you have a new day to advance yourself in your business. It could be labeling catalogs. It could be making a phone call. But business doesn't come knocking on our door. We do have to get out there and do something about it. Sometimes you have to go trolling the mall. Just talk to people. We have a great advertisement in wearing our jewelry and carrying our tote bag. I always carry my tote bag when I want to be seen. If there is no makeup and I'm running out, I generally do not carry that tote bag. If I don't have jewelry on, I'm not carrying that tote bag and saying hey, look at me. So that's an effort. You got to know. And my husband used to say at the beginning of my business, you know, could we leave Cookie home tonight when we would go out? And I would say, you know, at night a lot of times I do leave Cookie at home. But I always worried about what I would miss if I didn't have the tote bag.
Mm-hmm.
You just never know.
Maybe
And-
not leave her home, just leave her in the car.
Yeah, later in the car. Of course, we can still wear our jewelry even if we're not carrying our tote bag. But our tote bag opens a door. It's a conversation piece. It lets somebody know that you're professional and that this is what you do. I'll take that one step further. I try and wear my name badge wherever I go.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's really important to wear your name badge because it's not just the perception of somebody that sees you, it's your own perception. You will stand a little taller. You will be ready and thinking about what you're going to offer to somebody. And you will carry yourself as if you are on the clock.
Yeah, I was telling Jackie the other day, I'm like, okay, I have to get up every day and pick an outfit and pick the jewelry, even if I don't think I'm going to work, because I'm going to have to go to the store. Or somebody called, I'm going to be going over there.
It's very
and all I have
true.
to do is pick up my little bag.
Yeah.
It takes longer to pick out the jewelry than to pick out the clothes.
I know.
So seriously.
So many options.
So we'll talk about things like that. When you wear your badge, a little tip that I got a long time ago is to wear it on your right side.
Really?
And the reason is that if you're going to shake somebody's hand, they're going to look right here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's where they're looking. When you wear it on your left side, which is typical, because if you're a right-handed person, you'll go and put it here. So it was really hard to adjust to this. You wear it on your left, when you're shaking their hand, they're not seeing that.
Mm.
So wear it on the right-hand side.
Interesting.
And I'll tell you this, when you're in a store and you're wearing your name badge, they do think you now work at Target, and they're going to ask you what is on what aisle, you know, that kind of thing.
The jewelry's right here in this aisle.
Why are you asking me?
What
Yeah.
aisle? It's on right here.
Yeah, right here.
You need that.
But it makes you professional. So, what's it worth to you? Is it worth missing an opportunity by not being sort of on call,
Visible.
right?
That's a good idea.
Because you'll never know what you miss, but you will know what you gain. And you could go 6 months, 8 months, nobody ever says a thing to you. Nobody buys jewelry off you, and you're going to say, well, this just isn't working. But the day that you decide, I'm not going to do this, could have been the day that you will miss out on that opportunity. You don't know. You got to be in the right place at the right time. The right place is not inside your house. We know that. Like every time that I'm home just sending out emails, I'm not making new contacts. I'm not advancing in my business. So when I am out, I want to take advantage of that. If you go to a sporting event or your child's sporting event, so it could be public, let's say you're going to watch a Charger game, or let's say you're going to your kid's softball game or something like that, that's an opportunity. That's an opportunity for you to show people what you do and how you can help them. Now, we can help people. You have to believe in your product. You have to believe in the opportunity that you have. And you have to show that this is fun. Desperation gets us nowhere. Desperation actually is scary to people. It's very scary. And so when you're in that way and people can feel it, like an animal can sense from you, you're going like, okay, that show doesn't sound like fun now. I don't want to have it. And that's desperation. But when you come from a place of, I have a great opportunity, and more than that, it's going to be a heck of a lot of fun, then you're going to do better. Okay? So the first step in our business is contacts and referrals. And we have to try and grow our list, grow our circle every day. Every day that it's possible for you to do that. And so that's what this section is about. Now you took, or I hope you took Consultant Basic Training online. And what this is basically the expanded version. So you get a little taste when you do it online, and then this goes into it a little bit deeper. When you printed out the handouts, hopefully in this section it came with the Frank list. Did you see
Yes.
that list? Okay. The frank list can be used for several different things. Yeah. Well, there is this one. It came with it in that section, I think, the frank list.
No, actually, I got it. I
Did we have to print it separately?
I had it from your outline.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. In any event, you can print it
Somewhere
online.
Here's the Frank cards, there's the little card.
Okay.
In here somewhere.
But we can, yeah,
I have one.
towards the end, okay.
Always make a copy for
And you can print it online too. This is really good for, let's say, a new consultant who is starting her business and she doesn't know who to contact. This will prompt. If I asked you right now, can you give me a list of 20 people? I'll tell you that in your head, I don't care how many people you know, you probably only do like 5. Because it's just a tight circle and it's difficult to come up with all those names. But when you start to write it down or you go through your address book, you start to go, oh, this person, this person. So this is very helpful for you to start a new business, helpful for you to continue on making your list of contacts. It's also very helpful for the potential hostess that says she doesn't have any friends. Ask her to fill this out. Take some with you to your shows. I'll bet you do have some friends. Now, why don't you just take a couple minutes, jot down a few names for me, and I'll come back to you. Okay? I know that I would do much better jotting it down if somebody asked me to than thinking of it.
Right.
Right? So
We can think more.
I already know I'm in this business and I know I'm going to do much better by jotting it down. So if I ask a potential hostess to jot this down and she says, oh, okay, let's do the friends. Oh, relative. Well, of course, my sister. Yeah, okay. Acquaintances, neighbor. Okay, so now she's going to come up with a few people. And we only need a few people to do a show, right? So that might prompt her to say yes to do a show. So the frank list is a very important tool, and you can print it out individually from our website. When you did the consultant basic training online version, did you already fill out portions of a frank list?
Yeah, they had you to, stop and fill some names in.
Right,
Yeah.
okay, so if you have those names with you, great. If you don't, let's go ahead and fill in a few right now under the friends, relatives, acquaintances, neighbors, kids, parents, which is the handout number 1 on contacts and referrals, CBT 1.
Oh, that could be one I didn't, oh, here we go. Oh, that could be one of my odd pages. Okay.
Okay, so on CBT 1, just take a couple of minutes and write some names down. See, you do know people.
Yes, we do, but for some reason in our minds, we rule them out.
You
before
do.
we've even
You
put
do,
them
as I'm
down.
already doing that now.
That's a
rolling them out
very
before I wrote them
important point. You're prejudging.
Right,
down.
When we're just
Yeah.
asking, what are the names of the people that you
because
know?
we don't feel comfortable asking.
You don't feel comfortable asking.
Right.
That's you.
Yeah.
That part,
Where's the
yeah.
problem?
Well, no, but
It
that's,
cost me.
Right.
but just like any other thing that you venture into or anything in life, once you get over that hurdle and once you believe, now wait a minute, I would want somebody to tell me about this, then you can tell them, let them decide whether this is something for them or not. So no prejudging on that. Okay, so your frank list, this is who to talk to, right? And now we need to figure out what to talk about. So that's your needs and benefit list. So you're going to put a name from your Frank list next to one of the following. So who do you know from that list that wants lots of jewelry, would like the Hostess exclusive buy, which I'm wearing one of them, wants to introduce something new and unique to their friends, hates to shop at the mall, or wants a personal stylist appointment? So let's pick a name and put it next to something there.
I know anybody who hates to shop at the mall.
I know, I'm trying to think too.
Well, you can just pick one name in one category.
Yeah.
So basically, what you're trying to do is figure out, when I'm talking to her, what is the best benefit that I'm going to talk with her about? She may not be interested in the opportunity. She may not be interested in the Hostess exclusive buy, but you know what? Every time I say, you want to go shopping with us, she hates to go shopping at the mall. So how can I help her in that regard? Okay, so that's what you're going to do. You're trying to figure out the benefit for each of these people. Now, sometimes you're going to be out and about, and you need to develop a 30-second commercial. And we're going to talk a little bit about that, but it says in your handout what a 30-second commercial should include. And basically, it's that elevator speech. You've got 30 seconds, and you have to say something that's going to catch somebody's attention and want them to ask you something more. It's going to be your name, your company's name. A long time ago, I heard, you never want to give what your title is or anything. It means nothing to anybody. It's what can you offer. What services you offer, how you offer your services, and an invitation for the listener to take you up on one of your offers. Okay, so mine is always completely different, but it always starts out the same. It's Cookie Lee. Have you ever heard of it before? Always. I don't know. That's just the way it's always come out. And somebody's going to say yes or no. And then I can sort of read what they're going to be, what they're, like no, and I'm running away, or
Or yes.
talk about yes,
Yeah,
oh God, I have a friend who does that. I do always ask, so what's your friend's name? Because I can really gauge whether this is a close friend or not a close friend.
Oh, interesting.
And they can usually never remember their consultant's name. So it's not a close friend, right? And now I can go in. No. There's lots of different things, but basically we want to be engaging somebody in a conversation with our 30-second commercial, and it's going to lead down different paths. She loves that necklace. You can offer for her to purchase it that day. Of course, she could buy it for half off of your neck if she books a show. So you can get it today for $20 if you'd like to book a show. I don't mean this set, but whatever I'm wearing, to be held within the next month or two, or you can pay $42, whatever it is. So there's different conversations that you're going to have, but the point is that you have to start engaging people, and of course we don't want to leave without contact information. I don't care if they swear that when the minute they get home they're going to call you. They are not going to call you. If somebody ever calls you back and you don't have their contact information and they actually follow through and call you back, that's awesome. But it just doesn't happen most of the time. It doesn't happen most of the time. And you don't know if it's because they lost your phone number or if it's because you're just way down on the priority list.
Exactly. Baby was screaming when they got home.
Yeah.
Husband's hungry.
Right.
Whatever.
Yeah. And there's the fact that she's going to tell herself on the way home she doesn't even deserve to buy that necklace. I'm telling you, that's how we talk to ourselves.
That's true.
I got to stop and get this. I guess I can't buy the necklace, I don't have enough friends, whatever. Well, we know how to overcome that. We've got the Frank list. I always tell people at shows when they say, well, I don't have any friends, or all my friends are here. I said, well, sure you have friends. And guess what? I'll come. That's one. You've got one already. Your next door neighbor is two. We're just going to build on that. The reason why people will give you that comment that they don't have enough friends is they are afraid of disappointing you. Not afraid of investment in sales for themselves. They're afraid of you spending your time because you're the professional, you're coming to their home, and I'm going to disappoint her. So we, of course, want to make sure they know a few friends is just fine. Yeah,
Right.
that's just fine. We're here to have a good time. And I'll tell people,
Right.
if it ends up to be just you and me, we're going to have fun playing dress up.
So you do. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're going to
I
have
didn't know
fun playing dress
it's
up.
saying something like to be upfront about their fear that you're describing. If then that was going to put that in their head, and then they was going to defeat their trying to get more people to the
No,
party.
because if I become likable, she's going to try.
Okay.
She is going
Right.
to try to get people to that party. But she's going to know it's all right.
It's okay if you
Okay.
can't.
It's okay.
The pressure's off.
Yeah, the pressure's off.
Right.
Okay? So if it ends up to be just you and me, we're going to have a great time.
Yeah.
We're going to have a great time playing dress up. This is fun for me. You're taking me out of the house. Are you kidding? I like it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So you're befriending her in that case. I'm getting off track because we're talking about contacts, but it just leads me to different things. Okay, I'm going to have you work on for homework, work on your own 30-second commercial. But what we talked about is how you're going to lead somebody into it. What's your tagline going to be? You can say things like, I offer women this fabulous opportunity to be independent businesswomen and make a great income on their jewelry. Me, I always start off, have you heard about Cookie Lee? This is so fun. Why don't we get some girls together? My objective most of the time is to get a show. And you can book shows when you're out and about. But the least thing that you can leave with when I'm engaging in that conversation is that contact information. And I may not book that show while I'm out there, but I have a new friend. Need to make a new friend everywhere I'm going, right? So work on your 30-second commercial. All right, so I'm also going to give you a challenge, and that is the on how to create and practice conversation starters for these scenarios. So I want you to be able to look at these scenarios, think about them when you're out and about, and challenge yourself to engage that person with that. So introducing yourself with your business card at a school or social function, standing in a checkout line. Listen, that is good field. Stand in that checkout line. You're there. She's there too. She can't go. She's right behind you. She can't go anywhere. You might as well have a conversation. Might as well have a conversation. What's the best way to start a conversation? A compliment. A compliment is the absolute best way to start a conversation. So you don't want to start a conversation by saying, can you believe this line we're standing in? That's not going to go anywhere.
Well, it's become a
That's
gripe,
not, yeah.
gripe, negative.
It is. It's going to become
conversation.
something negative. But if you turn around and say, oh, well, I had to say something. I just noticed that is a beautiful blouse you're wearing, or that's a beautiful piece of jewelry. I usually compliment on the jewelry because then I can lead into, and I should know because I do. I've been with Cookie Lee for 10 years.
Well, and I think
And
it's
have you seen our new
probably a
catalog?
natural one too. I mean, I know
Yeah.
that. I notice since I've been doing the jewelry, I notice people's jewelry
Yes.
first, and then I notice their
Right.
outfit or something.
Right.
Before it was maybe the whole package, or but
It is the number one thing that women compliment each other on
Is
is
it?
jewelry. Number one. So this is a segue. This is an opportunity for you. You are put in that line for a reason. Look around and see who you can talk to. If there's nobody in that line, make sure you're talking to that checker when you get up to her. Right? Putting your bag up on the counter, like you said. Decorate that tote bag and have that up on
Go
the
every
counter.
day and buy one thing.
Right. Go every day and buy one thing. Yeah.
You can't-
Right.
Get
Yeah.
out and then go right back in.
Yeah. So, what we're trying to gain is new contacts all the time. If nothing comes of it, well, here's the thing. Sometimes you won't know for a long time if something's going to come from it. People will stay on your email list for a long time, and then all of a sudden one day it's, I want to buy that necklace.
Mhm.
I want to sign up.
Because I want to, but I can't. I want to, but I shouldn't.
Right.
But I'm gonna keep that email. 'cause I
Sometimes
really
you
do
don't.
want it.
Sometimes you don't even know if they're getting your emails.
well, that's yeah.
But you just keep
absolutely.
doing it. And I will tell you this, that most of the time, people have not connected on the opportunity portion, have not contacted you back because it either was not the right time for them or they wanted to see if you stayed in it.
Wow.
Really?
If you are in it for several years,
Right.
all of a sudden,
More credence.
maybe this is
Credibility.
something I should think about.
Yeah.
She keeps sending me emails every month.
Hmm.
So maybe this is something, obviously it's working for her,
Right.
right? So you're building trust, you're building credibility by continuing in your business. And a business takes time, okay? So generating lots of new contacts for your business is up to you. You are your own best advertisement. There might be a fill-in there. And you are the self in self-employed. You are really your entire company. Cookie Lee is there to support you, but it is up to you to build your company. There's a fun tip when you're at a restaurant, give Cookie Lee as your name, and when they call it out,
Oh,
See.
that is.
see who turns around. Is that her?
So, oh, wait, but I live in
Oh my
Irvine.
gosh,
Cookie
yeah.
there.
Yeah. Cookie
Gotta be
there.
careful.
Yeah, right? So try and find different ways through your tote bag, through your name badge, through the jewelry that you're wearing, the people that you're talking to. You will get more and more comfortable with this. And yet there will still be years later uncomfortable situations. But it gets better. Gets better. You know, at first I couldn't talk to anybody. And then you
I can't
talk.
magic.
That's what people say, I know, but it is very true. Very true. I only joined because I thought I wouldn't have to talk to people. And that didn't work. So,
Talk about personal growth. Wow.
yeah, it really is. But it leads you to a lot of different areas of personal growth in your outside life, outside of sales as well. So, this is it's just good all the way around. It's good practice for your own business. It helps you in your big girl job skills too. If you have
that
another
helped me.
job,
That
yeah,
helped me a
it
lot.
really does. So, so building those contacts, since we know that really 1 out of 8 or 10 says yes to anything that you have to say, and when it's in sales, I say in buying something, it's probably 1 out of 100 say yes. You know, like you put out an offer, hey, here's the Insiders Club. Well, you don't always get responses on that. And I email hundreds of people. But you will get responses when it's the right time for them and it's the right offer for them. So you just continue. You continue to build, right?
Numbers game.
Yeah. Every part of it is a numbers game. So there's a cute story in your handout that is actually true, and we're not going to read that, but that's something that you can go through. It does have to do with wearing tags on your jewelry.
Like I do.
Yeah.
Like I do.
Yeah.
And so I'll just comment to that. That's not me. Doesn't mean it's wrong. It's just that I found that my tags were crumpled by the end of the day, and I didn't like that. But it is for anybody who's like really outgoing. This is a great way for them. Monet,
I was
who is
just gonna
top
say
in
that.
sales, she always does it. And to me, it's like, well, it's your accent. It's something, you know, because you're just that person. You're just, you know, so out there and everything. And it works for her, you know, and it,
She says, because she talked about it at
Yeah?
conference,
Uh-huh.
I went to her class.
oh, good, yeah.
And actually, I used to do the tags, and then I felt uncomfortable. And it's mostly because I just never put the tags back on.
Mm-hmm.
And if I wear the jewelry many times, obviously that's not the one I'm going to sell
Right.
off of me. But she's the one that said that. Yeah, she'll not always wear the tags,
Mm-hmm.
and she will. And you're right, it's her accent, her personality. But her pickup line, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
is when someone says, "Oh, excuse me, you have your tag on," and then her charming personality and exuberance comes out, and she said, "Oh, yes, it is. And you know, I sell this jewelry. Isn't it beautiful? Don't you like
Right.
it?" And then she goes from there. And so I'm trying to personally adapt that.
Yes.
Again, no one has bought anything off of me that way, but when people say that, and I've gotten a few contacts that way, and they'll be added to my list because I'll say, "Oh yes, I sell it, and you know it's available, and isn't it beautiful?" And I feel more comfortable than wearing the tags.
Right.
You know,
Well, I think for me, the tags on the bracelets was the part that
That was
bothered
hard.
me.
Yeah.
But if I were to wear the tag on the necklace, I don't think I'd put the tag in the back. I'd just let it hang right here. Why not?
Well, you have long hair. Since I have the short hair,
Yeah.
everybody sees it in the back.
Yeah.
Why not? If I'm wearing my name badge and I got
Yeah,
my
try to
tote
wear
bag
that.
and there's a necklace with a
Oh,
tag,
true.
that's pretty obvious,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't have a problem with that. But but generally on the
No, the
bracelets, it's
bracelets.
difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they will get crumpled up and
I
everything.
feel like Minnie Pearl with that.
Mini pearl,
And
yeah.
that's what Moné's
Yeah.
name looks like.
I can't put it in, but
Yeah.
then you get perspiration or whatever.
Yes.
and the tag
Well, then that's when you,
blurs.
right, like
Sometimes
this,
I
yeah.
just put them in my pocket. I
Right.
just take the tag off.
Sure.
I'd make a note of what.
Yeah,
I
'cause
do
I can't
too.
remember how much it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when
Well, you can make a note of, what a great thing to do is put on what you're wearing that day of the sellable pieces. In other words, the hostess bracelet or the insider's bracelet is not a sellable piece, right? So, but put on what you're wearing that day, just add it up real quick. Because when you're out and about and somebody says, I love that look, just say, well, you could buy it today for $250 or you could get it free at your show.
Right.
that's a
Right?
good idea.
So if you're giving them that total amount for everything that you're wearing, I'm wearing about $250 in jewelry today, and it could be free at your show, or you could get it for half off by booking your show today, anything like that. But so just at least having the total, you can look up in the catalog generally what your item is,
Instead of
because
saying,
a lot of times you're wearing current
Well, I
items.
do. I say
Right.
thank you. I'm trying to get past that this year.
Yeah.
In my third year.
So you know what's
Yeah.
so great about Cookie Lee? We offer fabulous incentives for having a few girlfriends over. So just for giving me a date today on having a few girlfriends over, you can get this necklace or this entire look, whatever you want to do, for half off. So you can pay $250 or you can pay $125 today, or you can get it for free at your show.
Okay.
Now, I'm not advocating that you're going to give her everything half off that you're wearing that day. But heck, if you don't have shows on your calendar and you want to do something like that, that's up to you. That's your business.
right.
That's the awesome thing about it.
Yeah. Yeah. So just add up the total that you're wearing. I think that's most important to let people know it's really advantageous to have a show. It's not just like you're going to save a few bucks. You're going to save a lot. If you're not getting it free, you're going to get it for half off. And that's important. So far, how are we doing? Good, good. Okay, then what? After the story, we have, here's a guideline for being your best advertisement. So what I would say is to stack bracelets, definitely. That is actually the new trend last season and this season anyway, is that really stacking the bracelets. More so than layering of necklaces. We used to do like 3 necklaces, but right now the trends are a lot of bracelets. And so it would be very easy, if I didn't have long sleeves on, to fill this up and say, and people will look at, if it was a whole bunch of bracelets and say, oh my God, that's a great look. Yeah, you can buy this look for $650 at Nordstrom's, or you can have it for free at my show, basically.
Right.
Okay, so just figure out what your taglines are going to be on primarily what you wear. Bracelets are great for me because I do typically stack them up, and I would be able to do that. I would just count it out. I mean, even at our prices, you can come up with a few $100s on your arm. And why not get that for free at your show? Okay, so stacking bracelets, yes, layering necklaces, but typically you're just at, like 2 now instead of where we would do 3, 4. Decorate and carry your tote bag. I think we've gone through that. That's really important to do. The one other note that I'll give you about your tote bag is to change it up. So, and that's also to change up your look. If you wear the same necklace all the time, then your friends see the same necklace all the time. What interest do they have in asking you about that necklace? They either bought it, they don't like it, they don't know that you have anything else.
Yeah.
So change up your look. Try different things. Same with your tote bag. If you've been carrying the same jewelry in the pockets for a week, 2 weeks, whatever it is, and you are out a lot, change it up. Next time you go to your nail technician, you need to have different jewelry in those pockets. She already saw what you had last time you went there. New jewelry next time. Ask for referrals. Gathering referrals at your home shows, you want to make sure that you're asking for a referral in another county or state. That's really important. And why? Because we can build anywhere. We don't have any territories. That's important for someone considering our business too.
I have to ask you.
Yes.
Do you give 3 business cards to everyone?
I do not give 3 business cards to everyone, mostly because I forget.
Just
What-
wondering how effective
She's
that
human.
is.
But-
I'm glad we don't have to be perfect.
You do not have to be perfect. What I do make sure that I do is that there's more than one item in my shopping bag that has my name on it. So there's my business card. There's this that's in the recruit packet, my recruit packet. There's not a typical recruit
When you mean in
packet.
your shopping bag. what do
In
you
the
mean?
shopping bag, sorry, yeah.
That you give them when they buy something.
Yeah, when they buy
Oh,
something,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think I've shown this to people, but I'll take these and print something on the back.
Oh,
So this goes in my shopping bag. And then I just change it up all the time on what I'm gonna put on the back.
I think you did. That's what I asked you to email me, right? I think you did.
like,
Maybe.
What's on?
Yeah.
Like, just
This one says, do you love jewelry? Do you need to make extra money? Do you need a new career? Do you need to get away from it all? Then just a short blurb about, I've been with Cookie Lee for 11 years, make a great income and a generous car allowance, taken my husband on 11 all expense paid trips with hundreds of Cookie Lee consultants and their guests, and I've met the best friends in my life while wearing amazing jewelry every day. I'm not a sales person. In fact, I started out quite shy. I am just a woman who wanted to make a little extra money to stay home with her kids. Would anyone do anything for 11 years if it wasn't working out? Give me a call. It's time to make your dreams a priority. And they're all different. It can be, I do fundraisers too.
that's a great.
Because I don't know what people are going to respond to. But here, on this side, it's the trip. You print these out to a page. And on this side, I put something. So this goes in their shopping bag too. So at the bottom, it's got my name and number. If she lost my card, she has this. My catalog has my name and number. That's in the bag too. Okay, so I make sure there's
you
more
have a
than...
catalog in each.
I do. I ask them if they would like a catalog, but generally people say yes. I
So-
do.
Can I make a comment about?
Yes.
I don't know where I heard it, and maybe you do that, but I've been trying to. I do. On the catalogs have on the front and back, but I'd also starting with my stamp to stamp it on miscellaneous pages because I was reading in one of the many things I sign up for direct sales that how many times do you put something or take it home and the kids rip the front page off, you're flipping through it and it gets all
Oh.
messed up. So if someone's flipping through it, so I just take my stamp. I don't know if it's working, but it's not a difficult thing to do, and I just wherever there's a spot, I just put my stamp every couple pages.
Oh, that's
so
a
that
good
if
idea.
they're flipping through it, they'll here where it's paid. And
That's
it
a
doesn't
good
do
idea.
anything extra for me. It doesn't.
Right.
Right. So I've started to do
You
that.
could, we have coupons online that say, there's different ones to choose from, but on your next order, you could get, X off. You could staple one of those coupons in the middle that had
Oh, and
your
you have, that's
name
what you
and
sent
number.
me. You sent me the stickers for that you would
Oh,
put on the front of your
stickers,
catalog.
yeah,
That's what I
yeah.
have, that template.
Yeah, so I have stickers on the front of my catalog too. Let's see if this one has it. No, this is my old stickers. Right now, the sticker that I am putting on the front of the catalog is, I'm looking for consultants and managers nationwide. So this one has different stickers on it, the business opportunity is here. Listen, there's nothing wrong with changing it up, and there's nothing wrong with putting all kinds of different information at different intervals, because you don't know what people are going to respond to. So there's different things in here and in the recruit packet and in the shopping bag, because I don't know, you might not say you're interested, but you start to read something like this and you go, okay, the Atlantis.
You are, but you're not showing it.
Yeah, you're not showing it,
Thinking about
right?
Because you're still thinking about it.
Well, right, and the person that is interested, right, they might be only thinking about buying a piece of jewelry right now, and then they go home, open their shopping bag, and like you said, they go, oh, look at this.
Yeah.
I meant to ask her how long she was in the
Right,
business and stuff.
right.
Yeah, that's good. That's
You know,
good.
I've also noticed that on the opportunity slips, they check no everything except
Yes.
for free vacation.
Right.
And
Really?
almost everybody's like, yeah, I'll go on a free vacation, and so
Okay.
that would be a perfect follow-up to have something like that in there.
Well, the packet itself is a perfect follow-up. She checked that she'd like to go on a free vacation. Well, how's she going to get there unless she has this information?
Yeah.
And, then you want to set that recruiting interview. So we'll talk about that too. Okay, so gathering referrals while making customer care calls. You have a 4-point customer call. And point 1 is, these are the opportunities you want to offer. Point 1 is recruit. I gotta get my charger. 2 is host. 3 is purchase. And 4 is referrals, because she will earn free jewelry, $25 in free jewelry for every successful referral. So, you can see below it, did it give you sort of a little way to talk on the phone? Yeah. So you could just make sure that you're offering all those different opportunities. So let me get my charger on here real quick.
See what that shows?
Okay. So it's, hi Mary, this is Kathy, your Cookie Lee consultant. Is this a good time to chat? If yes, you want to continue. If not, well, don't continue. I know you're busy, so I won't take a lot of your time. I just wanted to tell you about the great recruiting offer, and that's point 1. And you don't have to call it recruiting. You can call it, just opportunity to join, whatever feels comfortable to you. The company has this month, and it's just yes or no. So we also have a great Hostess exclusive buy this season, and that's point 2. That's offering her the opportunity to host and get that $100 valued item. And our Insiders Club this month, which is point 3, that's on purchasing, or you might say something else from the catalog. Thank you for your time. Before I let you go, can you think of anyone who would like to see a Cookie Lee catalog or hear more about the specials I just shared with you? And that's point number 4 on the referral. Okay, so when you're talking with somebody, let's make sure we're getting everything out there that we have to offer. Also, I would add to that is fundraisers, because people do not typically think of fundraisers when you're talking about hosting or any other opportunity. So I usually would say, in any environment, on the phone or whatever, I know that you're involved with your community, or if you know of anybody who would like to raise some money for any cause at all. I do fundraisers, very generous fundraisers. That usually prompts a response. Usually the people that are adamant about not having a show are the ones who would do anything for their community. So I don't take anything from me. I don't need to do that, but I am so involved in that hospital auxiliary, right? And you don't know that till you're having that conversation. You have no clue. And just say, if you like to help out your community, I do as well, and I have very generous fundraisers. Usually that prompts somebody to say, oh, really? Well, I'm doing this event, blah, blah, blah. So you can get shows that way too. Okay, so you have your 100 new customers in 20. This would be 13. It leaves it blank for you, so you can go in and print that off at any given time. And this is a great way to keep a tally and sort of just keep adding every day. You don't have to put any more information than at least their name and maybe where you met them right here. But if you were to look at this sheet and you go, I have not added anybody to this sheet in a month. Well, you have more that are leaving than are coming in, right? We have to keep adding to our business. So this sort of keeps you on task and is a reminder to you to keep adding to this customer base. You have your business builder tear sheets from your shows, and if you don't have those, I talked about my training at product launch that I use index cards to transfer information from the sales receipt onto that, so that I have a central location for all my contacts. So we'll get into that in follow-up as well. Okay, so on your call to action for this section, I'm going to give you some goals to achieve, and that would be make 3 of the 4-point calls to 3 people on your Frank list. So you're going to be making 3 calls.
Make 3 of the 4-point calls
to 3 of the people you've selected from your Frank list. So it gave you a sample of the script on that. Reword it, whatever you would like to do. I don't care if you have to tell the people on the call, this is my practice, please bear with
I
me.
was just gonna say, I'm like, I'll do them on my sisters.
Yeah. Okay? But,
Yeah.
and then ask for their feedback.
Right.
Sure, do it with somebody you know and ask for
Right.
their feedback.
I'm gonna get my sister to sign.
Yeah.
What do you guys got called?
And then also, I want you to write out your 30-second commercial. Get some idea of what your responses would be when somebody asks you about Cookie Lee. and work on those conversation starters. That was that challenge I gave you.
That's the whole conversation, how to get it going on. I even have like a table. You can't walk in my living room without going around a little bit this table that I have set up.
Yeah.
So anybody who comes to the house, even just relatives, it's like, work it. Got it.
Well, I want you to
Gotta
start
get my ego going.
working on conversations
Yeah.
outside of the people that you know.
Why
In the
can't I do
checkout
it?
line.
The ones I know, I have to get going, period.
No, the ones that you don't know are easier than the ones you know.
Really?
Much easier.
Because you have nothing to lose.
You have nothing to lose.
Okay,
Oh,
so-
I don't feel like I have anything to lose in my own family because we're just like straight shooters, We tell it like it is, and it's all good.
It's good.
I'm telling
you
you,
want to
you
do
need
that.
to
You
practice.
think
You need to practice on people you don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's on me before
Try the
you-
checkout line.
Okay, so
Yes.
I'm the opposite. I can talk, but I can't close very well.
Right.
That's what I need to work on.
Okay, so if we're ending with questions that are very easy for people to say yes or no to, then it's going to be difficult to close. But when you say, instead of would you like to host a show, say something to the effect, if you were to host a show, what is the best day of the week that would work for you? What's the day that you're just not crammed with everything? Well, Thursday. Thursday, yeah, that's a really good day. I happen to have Thursday the 21st or Thursday the 28th open. If we were to pick one, which would be the best for you? Well, definitely not the 21st. Oh, okay, the 28th. You know what? I'm going to pencil you in. I'm going to give you this hostess packet, and then let's talk tomorrow. That's not going to work every time, but what I'm saying is that the yes or no questions shut the door.
Yeah, right.
But it didn't
Right.
feel invasive either. It
Right.
didn't feel like you were in my face.
Oh, good.
And she'll call me tomorrow. I don't have to stop what I'm doing right now because I'm on a mission.
Right.
She'll call me tomorrow.
I'll call you tomorrow.
Yeah.
And you can
In the
say,
meantime, I'm going to sit down, when
Yeah.
something gets, and I'll look at my little packet.
mm-hmm. Right? So I found what was the best time for you. And no matter what,
We don't need to bring.
We might
paper
find
and
another
pencil. We
Thursday.
need to bring recorders.
record. Well, I'm recording.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
recording.
yeah, that's right.
Yes,
Go back and-
I'm recording.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so, and continue to add those customers to your customer list.
Okay, so our call to action is just one thing, 3 calls, 4 points.
No, it was
Right
Oh.
out 30 seconds.
write out your 30-second commercial
Oh,
and
fine.
practice the conversation starters. And then, of course, add customers to that customer list. There was an old trick that I learned a long time ago. Sometimes people would say, take 5 catalogs, don't come home till you hand out 5 catalogs, whatever it is. But a lot of people don't like to hand out catalogs anymore because it costs a great deal of money. You want to make sure that people really want that catalog.
Right.
But if you were to stick 5 pennies in your left pocket when you leave the house, and all 5 of those pennies have to be in your right pocket by the time you get home, and that you only move those pennies when you talk to somebody about the business, then you can't go home yet. You have to finish talking to people about the business. And I did that a couple of times, and I actually took the penny out and said, look, I can't go home until I talk to you about this. So do you just have a minute? Let me just tell you about the jewelry that I'm wearing. That will help you to talk to people. I am not, my boss said, I can't go home until I talk to 5 people today. You're my 5th. My 5th one time was in a McDonald's drive-thru, and I was like, I am talking to you because I gotta go home. And you know what? The nature of people is that they do want to help. A lot of times when you get no's to things is they don't think that you need the help,
Right.
It's just a little thing, right? That's not going to make a big difference, right? But when we ask for it, when we show that we're growing, when we say that I just need to talk with you for a few minutes, most people will.
Yeah.
Yeah, talk with you for a few minutes. And then they might become interested. Okay, so we're going to go into number 2 now. Whenever you guys need to take a break, get something to eat, whatever, you're welcome to do that. I will just keep talking and keep recording. So, Consultant Basics training number 2 is booking. And I've got some added handouts here that, oh, I printed Frank lists for you in number 1, duh. And what else did I print for you? I printed the call to action. Okay.
Excellent.
That's so silly. I was so much more prepared than I thought I was. So here's 4 of these, if you'll pass those. And then 4 of
Actually, but
these.
there's a whole bunch. I'll punch you for you.
Well, actually, I'm gonna take that.
And copy them, yeah.
Okay, did you want yours? Glenn?
And there's 4 of those.
Okay, Rosie.
Yep, I'm fine.
Okay, so now we're going into Consultant Basics Training number 2. And I have a couple additional handouts for that. And I was so good and printed front and back for you on these.
I just laminated those.
Did you? Okay, good. So 4 of those. And 4 call to actions. And then some new consultant verbiage. Okay, so these, I have 3 different handouts for this section, Consultant Basic Training number 2. Okay, so first we're going to start with some fill-in on booking, and it says booking home shows is the lifeline to your business. An old saying, no show, no dough. But you know what? The show is everything to your business. Everything. That's how you meet people. That's how you get sales, bookings, new recruits. The show is everything. You want to do anything you can to get in front of people. Home shows are the easiest and fastest way to grow your income. And that's a fill-in right there, home shows. When you're discouraged about your business, book a show or observe a show or hold a home show. Now, there are many consultants that hold a home show every month in their home. And why would they do that? Because you never know who's going to be able to come over. And every time you put out a home show or an open house for your home, there are people that say no because it wasn't the right day, wasn't the right time, wasn't the right moment. You have nothing to lose by putting on your calendar, I've got one, every 3rd Friday of the month, or you do one a Friday, next month do it a Saturday, something like that. And if one person comes over and you're open for a couple of hours, you were going to be home anyway.
Exactly.
Right? You don't have to make it a huge ordeal, which I know you want to do from the catering business. You want to make it a huge ordeal.
I had 3, and they've all been complete busts.
Really?
So I did 2. The one I just had was a complete bust, but there was something happened in our neighborhood. So mostly I get my handful of friends from the neighborhood that come, and they couldn't. But I still did it because I never knew if somebody else was going to stop by. And I even had some friends who called that day. It was rainy, and they said, "Sorry, I can't make it." Or one's a realtor, "Sorry, I have to go show a home." But I didn't even think they were even considering coming. So that was encouraging. And then Rosie just had her first one for help me start my business, and nobody came during the day, during your time.
Right.
But at night.
But they did come.
And that's how she qualified.
Yeah.
After I left.
My sister
Yes.
lived there, and I had a girlfriend who was here from out of town. They popped in like before 2:00.
It started at 2.
Yeah, so they popped in before 2 and left at 2, and then
And
my
then we
sisters
were there
came.
3 hours and nobody came.
Right, and then.
But then they came
like,
because it was in her home and they knew that she was just hanging out. They
Right.
came by and she had that was her first show, and you had a $500
Oh
show.
my gosh.
Wow.
I mean,
So she was able to qualify.
$590 actually. Wow.
$5.90.
I actually had it like a Saturday and a Sunday,
Mm.
and I had absolutely no one on Saturday, and I had 2 people on Sunday. And I did it with my friend who's a consultant on my team.
Uh-huh.
And so she invited her folks, and I invited my folks, and
But you really don't know.
You really don't
What
know.
she
I
said.
will say that weekends have become so packed for people, that's very difficult to do. So during the week is best. Now, probably the most successful ones I have had have always been Friday night to Saturday morning. So I will say I'm open from 6 to 9 on Friday night and 10 to noon Saturday morning. I don't have to set it up again. It's already set up.
Exactly.
Okay? So if some people can't come in the evenings and they can only come during the day, okay, I've got these 2 time slots
And then
that are open
I
for you.
think the earlier sometimes has helped me.
Yeah.
Because people are starting their
Yeah.
day.
So they would be back to back, evening and a morning, and that's it. And you never know what you're going to get. You just never know, right?
Keep trying.
But you keep trying.
I think, you know what, I had a neighbor come, I kept it all up
Yeah.
on Sunday, and she did come over,
Right.
and say, sorry, I couldn't make it today because of our neighborhood thing going on, but she did come by, and she didn't come when she said she was going to. So I just thought, you know what, I'm just keep my jewelry all day, and I'll put it away tonight. And she came by like 3 hours later.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, and there's all different things you can do. Free gift for every attendee, bring a friend, get a free gift. It's, if you're a previous hostess, buy it 50% off. You can do lots of different things. End of season sales can be very successful when it is just to a previous hostess, making it sort of elite, like you get to buy everything at 50% off today, or 25% off, whatever it is. This is my hostess appreciation party. And you'll find some things on the website about hostess appreciation as well. So what I'm saying is that you are in control of your own schedule and your own life. And if you want to put one on the schedule, an open house, and you want to invite people, well, do it. If you're out of shows, you just might get a show by having somebody come over. You just might. So you have nothing to lose by doing that. A lot of times my jewelry is set up, and if it's not, it only takes a few minutes to set it up. I don't have to go anywhere. I don't have to put up any tables. So why not?
I think it helps people remember too. When I send out that I have my open house, because I don't do shows, I'm going to do shows, but I don't do them currently. And but then people remember that I have the jewelry, so because I've sent an open house, and they might not come to it, but then they go, oh wait, I forgot, I did want something, or this birthday's coming up, and they don't come to my house, but I might sell it just one off like that.
Well, we're in it in our minds every day, but our friends and acquaintances, it's not top of mind. So these are just reminders. These are just reminders. And again, it is your own business. You have to keep trying things. Yeah. And you're going to hit that right person on that right day. Okay, so the more you hold, the better you get. That was a fill-in for you under number 3. And the better you get, the more money you make. And the more money you make, the more you want to hold another home show. That's true, isn't it?
What page are you on?
This is the first page of the Consultant Basic Training number 2.
2, okay.
So on the next page, it talks about a checkup from the neck up. And we talked about this a little bit, about wearing, the right jewelry, but also the attitude and how we carry ourselves and our name badge and all that. So, I mean, if you walk in, it's really easy for my face to look not happy. I know that about my face. It's very easy. I have these big puffy cheeks, but as gravity's been taking hold.
So I think that's all of us as we get a little older.
Okay, so if you're not conscious about putting that smile on, it's very easy to look unapproachable. So all those things of the name badge, carrying the tote bag and everything makes you a lot more approachable. We have to be conscious about it. I mean, I think sometimes the looks that are on my face, I would not approach me. No way. So you have to make sure that you're approachable. Do I believe I have something to offer women? That's your fill-in. And do I believe everyone I see deserves to hear what I have to offer? So everyone I see deserves, I can't say that, deserves to hear what I have to offer. And then, Rosie, this is for you. The biggest sales job you'll ever do will be the one selling you on what you have to offer.
Selling yourself.
Yeah. Once you are convinced about what you have to offer, the opportunity, the jewelry, the discount, all those things, it will be much easier to offer that. You will sell in spite of you, because the jewelry is
So
awesome.
true.
Yeah.
I love that one.
Yeah. but you will always book because of you. That's about creating that experience. Would you invite you into your home?
Sure, I always bring food.
I would invite you, yeah.
I would bring margaritas.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
So we're going to set a goal to book 3 shows from every show we hold.
Okay.
I've read that before.
Mm-hmm. Think of it this way. When you book 1 show, you haven't grown, right? You've just replaced that show. When you book 2 shows, you've doubled your business. You had 1, now you have 2. When you book 3 shows, you've tripled your business. So you're going to set a goal to book 3 home shows from every home show that you hold. Now, how do you set a goal? It is prior to arriving at that show. It is talking to yourself in the car. It is posting your notes on your mirror, whatever it is. But you walk into that show saying, I'm booking 3 shows here today. Right? You have to be able to be convinced in that in order to be convincing. Now, the next section is establishing your work weeks. I'll admit, I don't really go through and mark out on my calendar. I just look at my PDA. If there's nothing on there, I'll do the show. Show times that I have chosen not to do, and I know this, and that's why I don't have to mark it out, is I don't do Saturday nights. That's for me and my husband to go out, so I don't do Saturday nights. But I do Friday nights, and that works for us. He knows I'm pretty much always working Friday night, but I don't work Saturday night. Is he going to make plans? He's going to make them for Saturday night, right? So we that's how it works for us. I think Saturdays are very difficult days anyway. People think that they're going to get a lot of friends, but generally you'll get your friends that come straight from work. So a Friday night works. A Thursday night is really good too, because people can feel it's towards the end of the week.
Really? I would think just the opposite, that during the week would be just too hectic.
Yeah, I've got a lot of things.
Oh, no, Thursday nights are good. Thursday nights, Friday nights.
Well, wasn't statistically, that was something at one of the Cookie League things, they said Thursday nights statistically is one of the best.
Might
nights.
even be better than Friday nights, but you have to know, they have to know their own crowd. Some people say, oh no, it's a Friday night and that's it. And that's fine. That's good. I will drink margaritas with you. Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then let's say for a hairdresser, usually it's a Monday night because they don't work on Mondays.
Or the Sunday night if they want the margaritas
Or Monday
at their
during the
party.
day. Yeah. But I find that the weekend ones generally tend to be lower. I will ask somebody if they say to me, it really has to be a Sunday afternoon. I'm really going to ask her, because that's generally a time that I don't do it. Okay. Are you saying that's really when everybody gets together? You know that they'll come Sunday. Do you already know this? Or is this that you think it's the best time? Right? So we really want to know that for sure. People get very busy on the weekends. A lot of people work. And so the weekend is the time to catch up. And it's hard to say, I'm going to take out time in the middle of the day and go to this show. But sometimes that hostess knows her circle of friends and they get together every Sunday afternoon. They do. And they do something different every Sunday afternoon. So in that case, I want to be part of your Sunday afternoon. So you really have to you have to know your calendar, and you have to be able to ask the right questions to know that this is going to be a good show. The last thing that you want to do is get there and nobody can come because they're all at soccer practice. Well, we could have known this.
Sure.
So, okay. Do your homework before you get on the phone. And so this is something we may have already, I think we did at one other training, but you're going to make a list of, this is before you get on the phone, make a list of 10 people with whom you want to book a show. Circle the 3 names out of those 10 that are most likely to say yes. And of the 3, put a star next to the one that is yes, or you will kill her. Definite yes. Definite is your fill-in, not kill her. Yeah. Okay, so what is the reason for this? I'm going to make 10 calls. Do I want to start out with 9 no's? No, I probably want to start out with what I think is going to be a yes. And that's going to keep me up and moving for those next calls. So take your easiest one first, move on to those next easiest 2, and then go for the rest. And you know what? If they're all
You
no's,
get more confidence then.
yeah,
You'll be like, oh, what the heck?
right.
Why not call him? I'm in the mood.
Every no brings you that much closer to a yes. Statistically, after 10 no's, there's going to be a yes there somewhere.
Because you're due.
Because you're due, right? Now, how do you react to those calls? How do you, when you get those no's? The last thing you want that person to feel is that she's made you angry, that she's disappointed you, that you're desperate. But let's get a time that we can call back. So that's when it comes in, oh, I understand you're very busy. I will say, I don't say, does this mean no, not now, or no, not never. I just say, I just try and figure out when's a better time. So she says that her daughter's getting married. Oh, really? When is she getting married? Where's she getting married at? I sort of go off on that little thing like, you may not want to answer these questions, but I'm going to get to know you. And so, isn't that so nice? You must be so excited. And I know there's a lot to do. I mean, gosh, with your job too, how are you handling all this? And now she'll start off a conversation. And okay, she's getting married in September. There is a lot to do, I know. And there's a lot to do after and everything. How about if I give you a call just to check in around November or something? Does that sound good? Well, that is like, for her, 6 months, 8 months from now. And she's like, yeah, that's fine. I now have permission to call back.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, I'm not going to get a show with her next month. But do I want a show someday with her?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't want to just cancel everybody out and be all upset that she can't do a show.
Mm-hmm.
Well, fine, but I really needed it next month, so whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Then I've lost a customer. I want to make sure that she knows that I want her as a customer no matter what. Because not everybody's going to do a show.
I did that actually. Somebody who's been to 2 shows so far, she's having chemo. She was like, I really can't do it now, but I'd really like to do it in the summer. So I have a note in my June folder to call her to set something up in the summer. So we'll see. You know, hopefully she'll be right as written by then.
Yeah.
So you never know.
Yeah.
She will. She'll be all excited about looking good, getting blinged up. I used to work in breast cancer, and I'm telling you, after the chemo, okay, the hair's going to start going back. I'm getting excited now.
Mm-hmm.
I need earrings because my hair is too
You're right.
short.
Actually, I have
need
a couple friends
necklaces.
who became
Yeah.
great. I
Yeah,
mean, great
man.
friends of mine, but also never wore jewelry until
Yeah.
she had her chemo
Oh, yeah,
and her hair was
the
coming
makeup,
back
the hair,
shorter.
jewelry, yeah.
She
Yeah, and
even
she
bought some stuff to wear with her
Mhm.
bald head
Mhm.
and stuff. So it was
Yeah, that's
interesting.
true.
Well,
Because you're giving that gift
let's
to them.
let's take that one step further. So what we're talking about is you've got there's a lot of women going through breast cancer, and you've got someone who's going through chemo. Now, what are some ways that could benefit her as well as benefit you? Now, we know fundraising would be one.
Catalog show.
Okay,
Because
catalog.
when they're
show.
doing chemo, they don't want to be around a bunch of sick people.
True.
Their immune level is down, so they don't want to be really gathering with public too
Right,
much.
right.
But a catalog show would
And
be
how
good.
does she get them to the people?
Wait,
She's
what
like-
about this?
Mm.
One of the things that somebody going through chemo really would want would be companionship, right?
Yes.
And if she wants that, so do the other people sitting there getting chemo that day.
Oh yeah, and it's for hours. They sit there for hours with that IV.
Right. So I did ask somebody before. It didn't follow through, but she was a friend of mine. And I said, I'd like to know where you're getting chemo at, and I'd like to bring the other women one of our breast cancer support pins. Right? Or bring them a pair of earrings. Take your basket of earrings in there one day. And how nice would that be? That you
Oh,
just
yeah.
give of yourself and give everybody there a pair of earrings. Let the nurses know, I know you're dealing with these struggles every day and sadness every day. Oh my gosh, would you guys like to look at a catalog? Would you like to just bring a little sunshine into somebody else's life? Now, you don't know where those things can lead. I will say this, and I'm not saying everybody has to do this, but when people walk up to my table and they talk about what they just went through, I always give them a piece of jewelry. For me, that's just a little something that I can do. And I'll just say, would you please just take this? I know you had your heart on it, set on it, and I want you to have this. And I want you to know that I appreciate the struggles that you've been through. Well, that has come back to me tenfold.
And you're doing it out of extreme sincerity.
I'm not asking them to
Right.
book a show or anything.
Right,
I am
right,
saying,
There's no cap.
I hope
Right.
that if I were to ever go through this, that somebody would walk in there one day and do something for
Nice
me,
for me. Yeah.
right?
Right.
So I'm doing that sort of pay it forward. Well, how could you help yourself in your business and also help in your community? And sometimes this is what we have to find out. This is what we have to step out of. It's just about booking a show, but it's really more about making a connection. I'm sorry, did I make you cry?
Yeah, that's okay.
She's almost like a Vicky.
Yeah.
On
Yeah.
the crying. Yeah. Rosie's a little.
Yeah.
Almost.
So we're making connections with people every day. And what's the right connection for that person that we're talking to,
That's right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And so she's not going to book a show right now. She might not book a show for a couple years. But when somebody says, "Where did you get that?" she is going to remember, this nice lady came in and gave me this. And here's her card. Here's the catalog, here's the card. I think we miss out on a lot of community opportunities that we have that in our normal everyday jobs we don't have an opportunity to give of ourselves and actually make a difference in somebody's life. You have the opportunity to make a difference in somebody's life, whether it improves your business bottom line or improves your soul, right? You have that opportunity. And yes, it could benefit you, but you're going to feel so good giving her that piece of
in a
jewelry.
different way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to feel so good.
It's a great idea because I've been, emailing her and asking her how she feels and all that stuff to
Yeah.
let her know I'm thinking about her. 'Cause
Yeah.
I am. Because I had breast
Yeah.
cancer too, but fortunately for me, I didn't have chemo, so I'm, really trying to be.
You can
empathetic, but
relate.
That's a great idea.
You can relate.
To
And
know
these
that.
centers where women go to receive their treatments, yes, they are there for hours. And it's not exactly like,
It's so utilitarian.
Yeah.
Ah,
yeah.
Chemo's
So
very expensive, and those doctors, they might be
so
fabulous doctors, but it's all about the bottom line. From
Right.
They hire, help that's not all that great, and they're in a place that's
yeah, so even the
Very
nurses
There
would
are
be
no
very
nice
appreciative
drapes
of
or anything.
looking through a catalog,
horrible
Yeah.
place, yeah.
So you get free jewelry from Cookie Lee. Do something one day.
Mm-hmm.
And it may not be for this, it might be for something else, but I'm just
Right.
trying to open you up to those different things.
Great idea.
Okay, so, and anyway, after you had picked out these people, then you're gonna fill in the homework columns on their hesitation so that you know what to offer them, and we'll go through those hesitation cards. And it doesn't have to be that you're filling out this exact sheet, but if you know that her hesitation is gonna be X, you'll know how to answer it, right?
Be ready.
So I said that I typically don't say, is that no, not now, or no, never, but that's my way, right? My way is to engage in a conversation where I can then ask her later, can I call you at this point? It's still getting to the same point. 9, be prepared to book shows wherever you are. Absolutely. It does say in the original transcript of this to have 5 catalogs in your tote bag at all times. I think you will break your shoulder. So I'm suggesting 2 or 3 and go back to your car.
And it doesn't have to be the most current catalog.
Right, it doesn't.
Right.
Doesn't have to be. On the front cover of each catalog, put a sticky note. That's a fill-in for you. And when you hand the catalog, that's going to prompt you to collect their information. What's that sticky note for? Right? If you would just put down your name and phone number and maybe email address on there, then I can get in touch with you just to see how you enjoyed the catalog.
I did that for my first time. I haven't called the woman yet, but I just this week did that for the very first
But it
time.
doesn't have to be for a threatening reason, like so that we can book that show. I just
Right.
want to see how you enjoyed the catalog. Okay? Then she'll give you that. 10, lastly, be creative, and that's that 50 ways to book a show that came in this packet for you. There's lots of things that you could add to this, but this is meant to prompt some, thought. And perhaps, there's one in here, I think this is the list where it says, put your business card or an offer or something in with a bill that you pay, right? You could send something with them, and so whoever opens that is going to be, of course, I pay all mine online.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, so you've got your hesitation cards. On the 3 handouts that I gave you today, there was the hesitation cards, the call to action, and also this new consultant verbiage. Now, I think you've all seen the new consultant verbiage before. These are things that I took from Michelle Bardwell, and on the back, I actually also put the gathering referrals with the 4-point call and the 30-second commercial. So you have that again in a different handout. Basically, when you're a new consultant, you do have an excuse to be asking somebody for help. Once you run through all those people, well, now you're out in the public just like everybody else. But it gives you some follow-up conversations, how to talk about that. But right now I want to focus on the hesitation cards. So let's pull these out. And I know it's hard to look at it when you're flipping. Yeah. So these are just some sample responses on the back. So let's look at my house is too small. Have you gotten that one before?
Hands off from my own house.
Okay. Or let's find one. Let's see. I'm too busy started. I can't talk in front of people. Yeah. I don't have the money to get started. I'm not a salesperson. I don't wear jewelry.
I get that a lot.
I don't wear a lot of jewelry?
Yes.
Okay. Here's your responses. I didn't wear jewelry when I started this business either. Now look at me. Very true. I wore one necklace. It was the mother and child necklace, my watch, and my wedding ring. I did not wear jewelry. But this was a business opportunity.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Never took them off. Or the more you play with the jewelry, the more you sell. It's all about wear it, share it, sell it. Okay, so those are some responses that you could come up with on the, but of course, those are relating to real life. None of you wore as much jewelry as you wear now.
No.
Oh, I did.
I wore my 5 pieces of gold jewelry. every
Yeah,
day.
right.
Oh, see, I did.
You did? Do you wear any more now than you did before?
No.
Maybe.
Really?
Maybe.
Later the
Maybe.
necklaces more?
Maybe I do. Yeah, maybe I only did one necklace,
that I
and
know
I
you
always
did.
do 2. Yeah, but no, I've always worn stacks of. This is not much. I just didn't want to jingle when I was writing. But I've always worn tons of bracelets and big earrings. That's just me. So those wouldn't work. I have to think of other things.
Think of other things.
So actually it was, as from a different perspective, it was not difficult for me to relate to people like that, but it did. When I first started would hear that, it would throw me for a loop.
Mhm.
You know, because I didn't know them that well. So, I mean, if I knew somebody well, I knew, right?
Right.
And then we talk about it, and then I've converted them. But there's other people that, so I don't know what I would say because these responses don't reply to me.
Well, you'll
Apply
come
to
up
me.
with something.
No, and I don't know what it is,
Yeah.
but I do. So through my comfortableness, I have come up with something.
You know, I've gotten a couple where I don't wear costume jewelry.
Okay.
I just wear gold.
Mhm.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I
Mhm.
heard that
Well,
too.
how about try something different? I mean,
Well,
how would you respond to that? 'Cause it's like-
There's a couple different ways that I would respond to that. Number one, I would say, it's about getting your girlfriends together and having a fun time. And I bet some of your girlfriends do accessorize with fashion jewelry. So we're not really speaking about her. We're speaking about those girls that are coming over.
So see, now actually, I've had the opposite. Oh, just reminded me.
Yeah.
I've had the opposite where my friend loves to buy the costume jewelry, and she said, she's Indian, and but she said all her friends like to wear the real gold, and I keep trying to tell her she's a great customer of mine, but I've told her. Let me just, when you get your girlfriends together, I'll just come and hang out, and I think you'd be surprised.
Well, here's the other things that I say with that. Do you travel? Yes, I love to travel. I would never advise you to take your real jewelry along with you when you travel. And fashion jewelry allows you to accessorize and not worry if something happens to it. Okay? The other thing is that then I will also say that layering is completely in. Stacking bracelets, layering necklaces. It is very difficult to layer with real jewelry without wearing $10,000 worth of jewelry,
That's
right?
Right.
So continue to wear that beautiful necklace. But how about I layer it with this necklace and give you a whole different look? Okay? I don't want you to
That's a
take
good
that
idea.
necklace off. It's beautiful. But let's layer it with this for a different look. Let's add some bracelets next to your Tiffany bracelet to give you that stacked look because you're not going to walk into Tiffany's and buy all of that.
That's a really good idea.
Oh, I love
So we're going to keep that and layer with it. And those are really practical responses. Okay, like this one, my friends are watching their budgets these days. On the back of this card, it says, well, they'll love Cookie Lee jewelry. Our prices range from $10 to $40, so most everyone can afford. I would still get people that would say no to that response. Next, even when people choose not to purchase, they love learning how to use the jewelry they have in a new way. A show is an inexpensive way of getting the girls together for a fun evening. Yeah, okay. But I think really for me, and again, this is about getting an idea and tailoring it to you. I would say, look, it's a really fun evening, and even though it's not in somebody's budget, they can come and have a good time. And what they'll find out is that all the jewelry they want, they can get by hosting their own show. And they'll find that out at your show. So I'm almost doing a service for them, right? That they'll be able to learn how to accessorize, and I will give them the opportunity to book their own and get it for free. So I think you can really expand on those hesitations, but, you know, cut them up, laminate them, and have them there when you're making those calls. See what works for you. Like I said, you know, in here I wouldn't say, is that no, not never. That would just be me, but I have other things that I can say that will lead to the same point. You have other things that you could say that will lead to the same point on any of these hesitations. All right, so at the end of the booking, what I want you to do for your handout on your goals, call 2 people from the homework card. We established before that you were going to call people and use the 4-point call, but I want you to call 2 out of these 10 from the homework card after you've overcome their hesitations.
What page is that?
That is that handout I gave you where it says be a success scheduler at the top.
It's page 4. CBT
It says page 4, 2-4.
Oh, good.
Okay.
It's even number.
Okay, so you could see what the goals are here. Establish your work weeks. Call 2 people from the homework card. Book 3 home shows from a home show. Just because you don't have a home show in the next week or 2, that's not getting you off the hook. You're going to book 3 shows. Read that 50 ways to book a show and use 2 of the tips. Then go back and use 2 more. Make it your goal to become a success scheduler.
I'm trying to do that.
Yep. Well, good. No try, only do. All right, so we're moving into hostess coaching. And that is CBT number 3. So hostess coaching is a 3-step process. At the time of booking, the step 1, time of booking, you give them the hostess packet. So we're at the first page of hostess coaching. Time of booking, hostess packet. Number 2, 2 weeks prior to the show, you want to remind them to send out their invitations. Do you have that, Patty? Hostess coaching, CBT number 3.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, you went too far.
There you go.
Okay, so 1 was time of booking, give them the hostess packet. Number 2 is 2 weeks prior, remind them to send out the invitations. And number 3, 1 to 3 days before is to make their calls. Hostess packet 2 weeks prior and 1 to 3 days before. That calendar is really important. Okay, most of your reschedules or cancellations are because why? Do you know why?
Because I didn't get it.
They forgot to send out the invitations.
Oh.
They will give you the grandmother died or something, but they forgot to send out the invitations. I'm going to have to reschedule. Why? Because they just found the packet underneath their son's homework and they forgot to send out the invitations. But if you remind them, you got a better chance to get those invitations out. I like to remind around, 2 weeks plus 3 days so they have time to actually get it in the computer. So it's around a little over 2 weeks or right at 2 weeks. And then if they're sending out an evite, I actually suggest that they don't send it out more than about 12 days before. Um, Hostesses will like to say, I'm so organized and I'm sending it out a month before. Nobody plans their life a month before. So people get yeses and then they completely forget about the show. And then when it gets time for those reminders to go out, because the Evite will send it like 2 or 3 days, it's like, what are you talking about? So I suggest that they don't send them out until about 12 days before. Then those yeses that come or maybes are really true yeses or maybes. And then we're going to remind them the following week, right? A couple days before.
So what I'm going to try is, we'll see how it goes. Is instead of the Evite, it's a friend of ours. It's actually how Rosie and I met. So she's going to have a party to help Rosie. But since I have Click and Rosie doesn't yet, I'm actually going to create the party invitation and put all of Rosie's information in and the hostess, send it to the hostess, and then tell her to use that as a forward to people.
Yeah, I do that a lot.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Versus because in that way, I know Diane's busy and she's not gonna have the time to do the Evite. So, and you found that works pretty
I
well.
usually give them the option of me, I'll send you a couple of templates and let me know if you like either one of these.
That's what we
Then
did.
I fill it out, send it to her, and she forwards
There's the
it.
forward because then you'll get the RSVPs back
And you can
in
see
your
if
e-card.
she's looked at it or not.
Oh, you do get the
Yeah.
RSVPs?
Yeah.
If you forward
If
it?
she does a forward. Now we did it for Rosie's. She wanted to add a little extra, so she actually forwarded like a full email, like my email, and forwarded my email versus if you pull up, you have the email, right? You have the e-card, and there's a little button that says forward to other people.
Right.
If you forward within the e-card, absolutely. It'll
Okay.
forward, and then you will
I
get.
missed that. Forward within the e-card.
Yeah, it says right
And
in
it
the
doesn't
bottom.
show everybody else's address?
No.
No, it just said it just.
Oh, I
it's
missed
just
that.
the e-card. Just-
But you
that's why I
wanted
didn't
to
do it.
do a special announcement
But
too.
I had a little blurb I put in.
Yeah,
there
and you
for
made it
some of
you made it
people-
specialized.
some of the
Okay.
people, yeah.
But yeah, you
So
can do
let's, that's a good tip. So let's move on to CBT 3 and the handouts. And what I did on this one is there was so much to fill in that I gave you my facilitator portion front and back of that one. And then here's the goals on this one. And so we'll just look at that briefly instead of filling in so much. So,
3 and 2. Okay, here's 3 and 2.
oh, are the pages,
They're already together.
yeah, but are they,
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, let's make sure. Okay,
yeah.
2,
So everybody gets one of
2,
those
2.
and then
Okay.
everybody gets one of these.
Okay.
Okay, so, and that's where it goes through the 3-step process of hostess coaching.
Wait, no, you
Wait,
don't
I
need
know that
that
one.
one.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Got it.
Wait, 2, 3,
Yeah, it should be on the reverse,
Okay.
2 and 3.
Okay.
and then 5.
Yes.
Okay,
hmm
got it.
There's
Okay.
13, 12.
I'm missing page 4.
11,
No, there's no page 4.
No,
You don't
she
need
just gave
page
us
4.
2 and 3
and
and
5.
5.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Okay, so it takes you through all the details of the hostess coaching process. We said at the time of booking, you're going to give her that hostess packet. And then it tells you, how to, cover the hostess packet with her. 2 weeks prior to the show, you can call her or send her a reminder postcard. You can do that, and I think they are online where you can get a postcard, but I generally call people. And I'll leave a message if I don't get them. This is a great time to send out your invitations. If you're talking to people on the phone, remind them that there's a gift if they bring a friend, those kinds of things that you want her to reiterate to people. And then there's some examples here of what to say when you're calling. So that's all really good information, and we want to make sure that, I wanted to make sure that you had all of that instead of just filling it in. So that's why I gave you those. Now, okay, so we're going to review the hostess packet too. Okay. All right, so here, this is my hostess packet, and you can get these things from mygirlfriendshouse.com. If you guys want to place an order, let's place one together because the shipping's kind of expensive. So we might as well, yeah.
That's a nice idea.
right. Okay. So anyway, I like to have a clear envelope. I was gonna do some cheaper, just manila envelopes, but then I felt like I wouldn't pull it out and talk about it or something, so I like this envelope. And I put a label on there. I think that I've got the labels on our website. If you can't find it or you need me to email it separately, let me know. And so most of the time, you don't have a lot of time to go over this, maybe no time. So I at least put down here that your show date is whatever. The time of the show is 5 to 7. I will arrive at 4:15. I think that's really important because she'll say, yeah, 5 o'clock. And in her head, she's getting home at 4:55. And a lot of people run their lives like that. And then I'll say, and so I need to get there at 4:15. Don't come at 5 then because I mean, don't come at 4:15 because I'm not home yet. So let's adjust the start time of the show so that she can be there to set up. And then it's got my phone number on the outside here. All right, so here's what I do inside. Most of the training that you'll find on the website says to give them 40 postcards.
Oh my,
Oh.
Don't do that.
that's antiquated though.
It is so cost prohibitive, and they have to fill out each one of these. That's a lot of filling out if people were to pass out 40 invitations.
Right.
I give them 10 just in case they need it for neighbors or people that they don't have email addresses for. And I would like to think that I remember to ask for them back when I get there, but I always forget. But that would be good.
Ask for them back.
Yeah.
If they didn't use
If they
them?
didn't use them.
Oh,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. I have a one-line stamp that I got at Staples that has my name and phone number, and I just click that part on all the cards. And I use that for other things too, like my receipt pad, you know. So you can get that. You can order that at Staples. All right, so I put 10 postcards in there. I make sure my business card is in there. And then I have my hostess guide that we'll go over on top of the hostess brochure, a wish list that you can print from the website, and some order forms. I put 2 catalogs in there. I used to put 3, but I forget to ask for them back. And 2 will work. 1 would probably work.
What was after the wish list?
So it was my letter, the hostess brochure, the wish list, and then a couple pages of order forms. These order forms now have the $2 in the shipping and handling block, which is great because then it's an expected charge.
So yeah, all of those 3, the hostess guide, the wish list, and the order forms are all online, right?
Like this, and then my letter on top. The reason why I still do this letter, it says add 7.75, I better change that, is because, I don't know, they started looking through here, where do I, what do I do, right? It's got great information, but doesn't really say what to do. So on my letter, and again, I think it's on the website. If it's not, I'll send it to you. But I just say, thank you so much for scheduling your Cookie Lee Jewelry Show with me. I want to reward you with as much free jewelry as possible to thank you for opening up your home and hosting a show. So the first thing I talked about is that the hostess guide is enclosed. However, the key to a great show is to over-invite. About 1/3 of your invited guests will be able to attend. Now, that's important because somebody with a small place says, I can fit 10 in here and that's it. So what does she do? She invites 10. Well, only 3 can show. Collect 5 outside orders. If your guests can't make it, they can place an order. Get 1 friend to book a show. You'll receive an extra $25 in free jewelry for all bookings and the exclusive $104 Hostess Bling bracelet for just $20. Then I tell her how to take an outside order. More sales equals more free jewelry for you. I've enclosed catalogs and order forms for collecting orders. I accept cash, check, or major credit card payments. Checks, make them payable to Kathy Buter. Credit cards, I just need their email address and I'll send them an invoice. Please add the tax and the handling fee. And online ordering for out-of-town friends is available and will go towards your show. Visit cookielee.biz to view the catalog and place an order. Now, the reason why I say out-of-town friends is I don't want everybody local just going on and doing that because I make less money and they get upset because they have to pay at minimum $4 shipping. Minimum. That's the minimum.
Wow.
If they
For one
buy just a
item?
couple items, it goes to like $10.
Oh my.
Yeah, because it's based on retail value for them. And so I always tell people, you're welcome to go online and order through my website. That's great. But they will charge you probably double the shipping that I will for just 1 or 2 items. Okay? Inviting your friends. The best way to invite your friends is to start with a phone call. The personal invitation really helps to increase attendance. If you follow that up with an evite or email invitation, you will again increase your attendance. And then I've enclosed the 10 postcards, and I tell them when to send the evite out. And then my signature.
What about those other handouts they have online about, the hostess tic-tac-toe and how to host a successful show and all of those things? You don't include any of those?
Well, how to host a successful show is basically this, but that's also in this hostess brochure now. It gives you tips, over invite, catalog orders, follow-up. So that's basically the same thing. You can use any one of those instead of typing up your own. I found that I really needed to give people instructions on what to do with payment anyway. So I was going to be typing something up anyway. Might as well put that all on one sheet. I wanted to let them know that I would really like 5 outside orders to get a friend to book a show. So I just made my own to put with that.
Well, plus the tips are on the 3rd page. They're
The
just
tips are
going
on
to
the
take,
3rd
like you said, the
page.
packet.
Right.
Read the first page, which is going to be that.
Yeah, that's my first page. If they get no further, they know exactly what to do. So the next morning when they're looking through this catalog and they took it to work and a friend says, well, I want to order something, you go, all right, right there, I'm saying, this is how you take a payment. She doesn't have to call me. I've saved myself some time on that too. And I do say on here, make sure to fill out your wish list and close. I want to make sure your wishes come true. So if she starts to do that, she knows she has to increase those sales to get everything she wants for free. So I think the label is important because you're going to be busy at your show. We just want to make sure she's got the date and time written down. I write it on her receipt of what she just bought for me. So I've got it. And then this is her packet all ready to go. So you can make all these packets up ahead of time. I have like 10 packets ready to go. And I just keep them with me. And then what else was I going to go over on this section? You can also go to the $1,000 home show coaching that is online. I put that on my website that is under resources and then hostess coaching. So I took the corporate training and then I probably added some notes to that. I'm not sure, but there's some $1,000 home show coaching that is on our website, and it is also at cookielee.com, but very hard to find. So that's why I put it on our website under resources and then hostess coaching. If you're going to be there, why not increase the sales, right? So we want to make sure we're doing upselling and increasing those sales. So, consultant basic training number 4 is the home show itself. Let's see. Well, I gave you your call to action on number 3, right? I gave you the page for it. Implement the ideas you heard. Help your hostess make her invitation list and ask. That's something that I will say that I fall short on, but I will, overcome those other hesitations. Coach for outside orders. That's important. She can get to a show without anybody showing up with a couple $100 in orders. That's the handout I gave you that had the call to action on it. Okay, so now we're going to go to number 4, the home show. And there are no additional handouts for that, so that's good. What I would like you to do on the front page of number 4 is to make a note to go to our website, our Jewels of Excellence website, and review under resources and the show, review this document. It's called BC 3.1, the home show flow.
And where on the website is it?
That is under Jewels of Excellence under resources and the show.
Oh, okay.
That's kind of where I take you through what goes on at a show. Okay. Also, if you did not listen to or you'd like to listen to it again, Michelle Bardwell's webinar from this week, 2/20 was the date. Listen to her webinar and look at the slides, and that's about the home show as well, and the flow that she takes you through. So listen to the webinar and look at that other document. Okay. So now on the first page of the home show, at a home show you sell, book, and recruit. Those are your fill-ins. Sell, book, and recruit. I have my cookie. On camera.
You're just going to be jealous.
And you provide great customer service. Did you find it?
I'm missing it.
The home show CBT 4.
It's the only one I have.
Was there anything left from what I gave you?
Oh, yeah, let's see.
I have that three. I'm missing one too.
There we go.
Oh, it's not a
Did you
handout.
find it?
It's not a handout, it's your,
Yeah, I don't
oh,
have it.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's true, it is different than,
Oh, well,
Well, you can just write it down.
I'll get it later.
oh, here, no, here. Show, it just looks different than.
Sell, book, and recruit.
Yeah, so here's kind
Oh,
of, there we go.
thank you.
And then you provide great customer service and you train new consultants. That's wonderful training ground. And a good cookie.
Thank you.
Okay. There are two great ways to learn how to have a successful home show. The first way to learn how to have a successful home show is to watch the home show DVD. Now, that DVD came in your kits. It's no longer being included in kits. They're going to do a new one, and they're going to be putting it on the website, which is smarter. We don't need those materials when you can have it on the website. But you'll watch it in 3 segments. There's a before, during, and after. So your A, B, and C fill-ins are before, during, after. Before is your setup, and you're going to keep that simple. The best thing about, or what you should be doing during setup in keeping it simple is being able to set up quick. When you take a long time, well, okay, let me back up a little bit. Everybody's watching you. The hostess is probably your #1 potential recruit. She's watching you, even though she doesn't think she's interested. If it takes you a long time to set up, if it's elaborate, if it's too creative, if it's too beautiful, and she is not that person, you've just lost her as a potential recruit. You want to really allow yourself that 45 minutes, and even if you get there and there's only 30 left, you want to be done in 20. And that gives you time to talk one-on-one to the hostess before anybody gets there. She can see how quickly you got set up, and can I help you with anything in the kitchen and everything, you know, and hey, I'll answer the door when people get here, you know, because she's running around getting crazy and everything, and you're just already set up and you're ready to take care of things. So you want to make sure your setup is simple enough to do that. And I have the same setup all the time, and I just order the same things when they break or whatever. But I have a cream tablecloth that I've never had to replace. You just wash it, it doesn't wrinkle, fine, you put that on the table. I have the runner. I will put the tablecloth down no matter if they have a tablecloth or not, because I want to protect their stuff.
surface.
Yeah, their surface. Even if she says you don't need to put anything down, oh no, it, you know, kind of helps set off the jewelry, I'll put something down. I had a funny story about furniture and something breaking on me before, and it was just like, oh my God. But basically this lady tried to blame her table breaking on me. She said, she had a whole bunch of vendors, and I said, well, could we move the table? And she goes, oh yeah, just move it over there. So I went to move it, and I pulled, and the leg came off.
Oh boy.
And she's looking at me, she's like, I can't get that table anymore or whatever. And I said, you know, I was young in the business, but really, that leg was going to go. Me just pulling on the table, that leg was broken, you know. I paid her $50 to get it fixed by a furniture repairman, but another vendor told me later that she's just a terrible person, and she said, had I known, she said she was a friend of mine, I'm not friends with her anymore. Had I known she had done that to you, I would have told her to, you know what. And she said, really, I'm sure that table was broken. There's just no way. So I just like to make sure if I'm going to move furniture, you're either going to help me or you're going to do it, right? Because I don't want to be responsible. And, I will take chairs and I will lift them and place them somewhere. If she says, don't worry about the table, I'm still going to put a tablecloth down. Not going to be blamed for a scratch, right? So you just want to take caution, right? And you want it to look like a professional setup. Okay, so it's a cream tablecloth. I have the black trays with the white inserts because I think it just sets it off better. It's not linty or anything like that, like the black inserts have. And I might have some table signage out there, but I don't get crazy. During the holidays, sometimes a little artificial tree to hang things off of some. But really, the quicker you can get set up, the less effort, the less expense, the better it's going to be. Okay, and people are watching you, and they're watching you tear down too.
For you and for them.
Yeah. Okay, and you want to be able to meet and greet everybody when they come in, and if you're still setting up, you don't have that opportunity. During the show, personal style looks for hostesses, 2 outfits. Yeah, you can do that. You can also dress up other people. Borrow somebody from the crowd. Say, let's see what would look good on her. Do the drawing. Use the Business Builder tear sheets for that. You might even have booking tree on your handouts there. That's something we haven't focused on in a long time, but that would be a great thing to be doing. You just use a photo, those things where you could stick photos in, and put date cards on those. So the next available dates that you want to fill, like let's say a show canceled that you were supposed to have at the end of this month. Okay. Oh, hold on a second. Oh my gosh. So I did a show with somebody and she's on the Disney cruise right now. I have to read this. And it says, it's very cool. She says, so I was on the Disney cruise and it seems no one on the East Coast knows Cookie Lee. And I was selling the jewelry I was wearing. I didn't really sell mine, but now a lady in Long Island wants to host a party and doesn't know how to find a rep in her area. How can she find someone? I will fly there. How cool is that? So
actually, what is your answer to that?
Actually, my answer is going to be that we can definitely do a catalog show. I do not want to pass that off. I do not want to say find somebody in your area.
Right.
But I'm also going to talk to her if there's nobody there. This is a fabulous opportunity for you. Why don't you, even part-time, make the profit on this?
You're going to talk to whom? This woman or the one in Long Island?
Well, I'll tell the woman that's texting that I
them.
need the contact information, and I will follow up directly with her and make sure that she's completely taken care of. And then when I talk to her,
The Long Island person.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then I will tell
Because
her that.
it's true. I went back for Christmas and nobody New York, New Jersey, Connecticut is where I was. Nobody knows who Cookie Lee is.
My friend, Lillian's from Long Island, and my friend who wasn't going to sell, but she would take my jewelry. Yeah, she would take my jewelry to her family to just sell on my behalf because she didn't. Now she's a consultant, but at the time she didn't want to sell, so she just was like, here. And we'd meet for lunch. She'd take like $1,000 retail of jewelry.
Wow.
Most of my big story. Oh yeah, one time she calls me up because nobody in Long Island or wherever she was had seen it, and she's a great salesperson. But hers was like, I'm my answer.
I'm also going to tell her it's a great opportunity for my friend to sign up, and this would be her first consultant.
Yes.
Well, my niece is on the edge. She lives in Connecticut, and she had a catalog show, and she did really well. And she was like, I'm really thinking about this. She's a Navy wife. Her husband's a submariner and he deploys a lot. She's got 2 little kids. And that's what I said, because I was a Marine wife, for 20 years. But I said, this would be the perfect opportunity for you, especially since you've given your friends a taste and they all really like
That's a
the
good way to put
jewelry.
it. Yeah.
And she's doing that. Well, I don't know if this is the right time. And I said to her, you need to just decide, and this is my my goddaughter, I love her to pieces. I said, you just need to decide if you want some grown-up time while your husband's gone, and you leave, your kids with somebody for a couple of hours, swap babysitting, whatever you gotta do, and get out and spend some time with girlfriends. And, I said, even if you do one show a month, you can make $200 or $300 or whatever, And she hasn't responded yet, so I think she's thinking about it, but nobody over there knows.
It's a fabulous opportunity for somebody when they don't even know, they haven't even heard of the company. So how
Right.
exciting is that?
I'm
Right.
working on it. I'm trying to get more people out there.
Okay, so I've asked the company to help me with this, but I don't know when that'll happen. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a little exercise right now, and I'm going to have you guys make up some cards based upon my presentation flow card. So let me talk about the concept of this first. I'm actually going to give you guys several, and if you have to rewrite them when you get home, so, I don't know, just give everybody like 6 or something.
Okay.
So basically, I'll just show everybody here. Oh, it went dark on there. So I've got these cards on the flow of the show. Now, I don't need these cards. I've done enough shows that I know what is on here. But if I stood up at a show and I had cards that I was following, tell me what you think some of the audience might think about that.
That you don't know your business.
No. Jackie.
You don't think so?
No.
Really?
Mm-mm.
I would think that.
I would think that too.
Yeah, me too.
No, I'll tell you what they do think. What half of the audience is thinking when they're standing there is, I wonder if I could do what she does. I need to make some extra money. But they won't tell you that. The statistics are half of them are
Wow.
thinking about this.
I think we have
Okay?
Oh.
So,
She gets some?
half of them are thinking about this, but if I get up there and I start rattling all this stuff off, then they start going, I can't say that. I don't remember that. I
Too much for
wouldn't.
me to remember.
Too much for me to remember.
Right.
But if you stand up there and say, and just sort of have a little cheat card that you could flip through, then thought process is, oh, I could do that. She has little cards to help her.
Okay.
It does keep you on task too.
Yeah.
Okay, glance
God
down.
forbid we go off on a tangent.
Right?
God forbid.
So I'll tell you what I have on my cards. I have steps. So step 1, I'll just review them first. Step 1 is my personal commercial, and I just put down little things. Kathy Buter, in case I forget my name. It's right here. I can figure it out. 11 years. I know how to talk about that. I needed to make extra money. I became a leader within 6 months. Bought a motorhome. Went on from there.
Became a leader within
So that
6
is something,
months.
going to that home show. I didn't know about you for your first year about the motorhome.
Yeah.
All the stories I know about
Yeah.
you and coming to your
You didn't know
meetings and
about the
stuff.
motorhome.
No, when we came, we went
Yeah.
and watched a home show that she was helping a new or re-signed up consultant.
Uh-huh.
So Rosie and I came down and watched her, and yeah, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm even thinking, is that true?
Yes.
It's Kathy. I know it's true, but oh my gosh.
It's about a mile away in storage. We can go take a look. I need to actually. I've always thought one day, I'm just going to say, everybody come over for a meeting. I'm going to park the motorhome in the driveway. We're just going to have a meeting in the motorhome.
Oh my goodness.
And so that's just it's shutting down. It's a little noisy about that.
Oh.
And so that's my little blurb about me. Then I go into the 3 opportunities that I have to share with women that night. And the first is to purchase incredible jewelry at affordable prices. The second, you don't have to worry about writing too fast because you'll be able to look at these.
Mm-hmm.
The second is to book a home show and get everything you want for free or for half off. I'm just in your house for a couple of hours. We have friends over. We have a good time. You get everything you want. The third and my most favorite opportunity to share is the opportunity to join Cookie Lee and make extra money, whether it's $100 a month or $10,000 a month. It's up to you. And if that interests you, I have more information on that. The second step is the chocolate game. Now, it doesn't have to be chocolate. It can be you're doing raffle tickets, whatever it is. But let's assume it's chocolate. And the winner does receive a recruiting packet, but with a free piece of jewelry. I don't want to just give the recruiting packet. So you're the winner. You won something. You're going to get a free piece of jewelry with that. And you can say, and I write on here, the best gift I have to offer you is the gift of Cookie Lee. Now that may sound a little cheesy, but you get a free piece of jewelry in there too, right? And the step 3 is the door prize drawing or the raffle. And you're going to ask them to fill out the top part of that business builder pad, and that you'll go over the questions with them. Now that's something I learned recently with Michelle. And what she says is, okay, so question number 1 says, would you like to get 50% off your highest price item today and earn free jewelry at your home show by hosting a show? Well, I know all of you want your own home show, so go ahead and mark yes. And then we just move on to question 2.
Yeah, right.
That was good. That's
Yeah?
good.
Yeah.
And people
Now-
do it because you told them to do it.
She said they'll do it because you told them to do it. And if they don't mark yes, they'll mark maybe.
I love it.
Yeah. The second question is, would you like to go on a free vacation? Yeah.
Everybody says yes.
So go ahead and mark yes. If you want to go to the Atlantis and the Bahamas with me. And lastly, all my business is based on referrals. So if you know anyone who would be interested in hosting a show, a fundraiser, the opportunity with Cookie Lee, write down their name and we'll I'll get their contact information. Then you say that you're going to collect the completed door slips and you're going to door prize slips and you'll do the raffle, and then making sure that you add in jewelry tips. Now, you can't always get to all of these things, but you want to make sure that you are getting that opportunity out, and it just seems like all 3 of these things sort of will capture different people. So getting to all 3 of them is pretty important. Multi-vendor shows are really tough.
Yeah.
Really tough. You can't do a presentation, I find, with multi-vendor shows. I tried.
Well, that was.
Yeah.
She had one other vendor.
She had another vendor, and if you're in a multi-vendor show and they want you to say something, please ask to go first, because everybody gets bored after that. So make sure your presentation is first. I'll start.
So can I comment on that?
Yes.
Which is interesting
Yeah.
that you say that, because there was another vendor, and it was in a woman's home, and it was not yours. It was something else. And at first I thought you lost everybody because you did your whole thing, and what did you have, that
The
one
people
woman?
were shopping.
Yeah,
And then it was like,
yeah,
okay.
that was it. Then they
Yeah.
were shopping, and
Everybody
then the
was
next woman
shopping.
did her presentation, and it was very long and very elaborate. And I mean, seriously, Kat, we're sitting there with our arms crossed watching, seriously thought that you lost people because they were so engrossed or bored, maybe,
yeah.
with the other one. And then afterward, when we left, and then you said how much you sold, or
Yeah,
you and your
yeah.
consultant sold, I was surprised it was that much. That really surprised me.
Yeah,
And I'm thinking, it's
Oh, the
prob-
one girl with the foot though, she was going to town.
she was.
Yeah.
well, that was
Yeah.
probably a big
Yeah.
boost for you. But I'm thinking you're right, because since it was just 2 and you went first, they kind of did their thing with her. They tried on her stuff.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, we're done with you
They
now. What did
patronized.
that first lady said something really cool, and then you got all the shopping.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I was
Yeah.
seriously thought you weren't going to get any.
Oh, no, it was fine. Sometimes you have to rope people back in, and I do that with jewelry tips. So the jewelry tips are really, really important for upselling and also to get people back in the game.
Yeah,
So we
exactly.
got to
You had
show
to
them
do.
different things that we can do with jewelry. So it is easy to lose people after that presentation. And so I like to do things with the presentation on jewelry tips, but I knew it was going to get long. Most of the time, my jewelry tips are about things that are not on the table. I will reserve items, I will hide them away, not put them out on the table, let everybody shop. When I get to this part, I know there's stuff in their baskets, and for the most part, they will not take the stuff out in their baskets, they will just buy more.
And I noticed that as well.
Yeah, they will just buy more.
Some of those women said,
So-
I'm not buying anything, and they walked out with, that one lady bought all those earrings.
So what I do is I let people shop, and that's when I pull out the necklaces that you can do 3 ways. So I'll say you can wear it long, you can wear it mid-length, you can wear it short, and now everybody wants to add that into what they have. It's a great layering piece to what you already have in your basket. Okay? So it's important to get to these things. It's important to get people to ask questions for the chocolate game. So let's...
My next comment on that is, I always thought the chocolate game would be hokey,
Uh-huh.
because I'd never seen it done.
Right.
I've been trained a million times, and as you know, I don't do home shows, so I've never done it. And then when you did it, and granted, you had the one lady that was like the ringer, like she was totally coached to ask 500 questions.
I don't know who
That was
coached
the
her.
lady. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think somebody did. I'm just saying
Right.
I was surprised.
Yeah.
I think it was just her personality to get excited. But it impressed me.
Yeah,
It really did impress me to see it actually done with real people
yeah.
versus, when we get trained and it's just all of us.
Well, people kind of get going and they sort of think they're getting to, stump the chump kind of thing. And because they'll start to ask questions that they think, you're not going to answer this favorably. And then when you do, it's just like, oh, okay. So.
It's You're
Yeah,
right. You're
yeah.
right. They were trying to get to the next.
Yeah, they're
something.
trying to
You're
get
right.
to
That
like,
was it.
oh, you don't get 50% off if you just buy for yourself, do you?
Or even when you
do.
mentioned that about your motorhome, you got challenged back.
Yeah,
Right? Oh, really? Did you? And
Uh-huh.
then you're said, what'd you say? Oh, yeah. And then my husband bought the dirt bikes or
Uh-huh.
whatever to go
Yeah.
with it.
he bought the dirt bikes,
They did
I bought the
challenge you on
motorhome.
that.
Yeah.
That's true.
Where can I find
So-
information about the chocolate games? I've heard of it, but I don't
It's in
know.
here.
Yeah, it is in here. It's also on our website. I mean, it is like, is there a handout in here
I
on
did
it?
see, or maybe it was
Yeah,
one
I
of my
think
other one. I
so.
think the handout's in here. Mm-hmm. Probably
it's
under the
toward the
home show
back.
part.
Yeah, it's part of the show.
I did.
Well, I know that I have it online too. So if we don't have it in this packet,
Oh, I did see
On
it.
the Jewels of Excellence.
yeah, yeah.
Well, I
And
can
if
go
you can't find it, then you let me know.
I'll do it all the time. It's fun.
Oh, it is.
One
It's,
time
at
I-
least it's in this, it doesn't have a page number, but I have it.
One time, one of my hostesses made chocolate-covered strawberries, and we used those.
Oh, that's from one of my last presentations, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, there's the verbiage. You're right.
Yeah.
That's why I have it here.
That's from
Oh.
another presentation, but it's on the website. If you don't find it there, look under the home show. And if you don't find it, then please let me know and I'll make sure it gets posted.
And what was your line for when you have a silent room? No one's gonna ask you the question.
Okay, so a lot of times when you say you're going to play this game, and so go ahead and ask me questions about my business, there's crickets, right? So the first question is always, I'll say, oh, come on, somebody asked me where I'm going on our next trip. All expense paid by Cookie Lee.
Oh.
Well, where are you going on your next trip? That always provokes other questions. Always.
Great.
And then it
It's
starts.
just like your sheet. No, 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 no. Oh, free vacation?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Okay. So on your cards, why don't you take one and just make some notes, and then you can go home and write out your cards. So we're going to call this first part step 1, and that's your personal commercial. And that would be your name, and if you have to write that down, you would do that. And then you want to remember how long you've been with Cookie Lee and why you joined. Now, after why you joined is why you stayed. So it's your name, how long, why you joined, why you stayed. So remember I said, Kathy Buter, I've been with Cookie Lee for 11 years. I needed to make some extra money, which is why I joined, right? I became hooked because I became a leader within 6 months. I was then able to buy a motorhome, which was a dream of ours. Obviously, that's why I stayed. And then you can just add in that flavor, like I've met great friends, we go on these wonderful trips, and that's just adding on to why you stayed. We want this to be short and sweet because you don't want to lose anybody, but it's like everything else that I've said before, bullet point things that prompt people to ask questions later. I mean, you remembered the motorhome. I didn't go into great detail. So then we went down, we bought this, and we and I make the
No, you
payment.
did
No, I just
it.
said I bought a motorhome.
And then
Right?
the questions actually came
Yeah.
to challenge you on
Yeah.
it. Like, really? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I did.
Oh, I have to say the other thing, maybe it's on one of your cards that I learned that I never knew what Cookie's real name was. I thought that
Oh.
was interesting.
Yeah, that's
Just
in
in
those
general.
Family
What
Feud
is
questions.
it?
Deborah.
Deborah
But I mean,
Lee or Deborah Lee or Deborah.
It would have been Deborah Lee. It is Deborah Lynn because she's married to John Lynn, but her nickname when she was growing up was Cookie.
Oh, I
So
see.
when she
But
started
the
Cookie
fact
Lee.
that you knew that,
Uh-huh.
I think it interested me, and I've
Did
been
it?
doing this.
Yeah,
But the fact that you knew that meant that you knew your business and that you know her,
yeah,
right? And I thought that was a good.
Very-
People were like, "Oh, you." I mean, you heard like little rumblings when you said that.
yeah. Is Cookie her real name? Then I went into 3 opportunities to share. This is still within step 1. So it's personal, commercial, and 3 opportunities. The three opportunities again were, number one was to purchase. And it was, I always say purchase incredible jewelry at fabulous prices. You can even say $10 to $40, $10 to $48. But anyway, your first one is to purchase. The second opportunity is to book a show and get everything you wanted, or everything that you couldn't get tonight, even say, for free or half off.
Everything you
And
wanted or couldn't get.
either way,
Okay.
and it'll come out different every time.
Okay.
And my third opportunity, which you say is my favorite one to share, is to join my team and earn extra money, whether you want to earn $100 a month or $10,000 a month. Now tell me I haven't left the door open right there. I'm just saying that. You want to earn $100 or $10,000. Okay, let's move on. You know, somebody's now thinking about this. And you tell them that you would, you know, I've got an information packet for you or whatever. You're not going to give it to them right then, but just say, this interests you, I have an information packet. Now, what I've done just there is I have not acted in desperation. I've acted with confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, whether you want to make 100 or 10,000, I can help you. Not said, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really important.
And you're not implying that be like me because I make 10,000.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I mean? Because
Right.
not everybody's making
No.
all that, but
Yeah.
they could certainly get people under them that could.
Yeah, absolutely. Step 2 is the chocolate game. And so at that, you're going to say, basically, we're just going to play a quick little game. Who likes chocolate? Everybody's going to raise their hand. Or you can say, at the end of this little game, somebody's going to win a prize. And you can use raffle tickets. You don't have to use chocolate. But we're just going to call it the chocolate game for the purposes of step 2. You're going to get them to ask questions. The one with the most remaining wrappers, in case they eat the chocolate, which is fine, or raffle tickets, wins a prize. And what do they win? You're going to present them with that recruiting packet and a little piece of free jewelry in there. This is where the sales are really good for your business. Buy something for $250 and keep the tag on that says 24, okay?
Right.
The intrinsic value is huge.
Mm-hmm.
And then step 3 is the door prize drawing. You do not have to do step 3 at the same time as step 1 and 2. In fact, Michelle talked about the other day on the webinar where she would basically be doing her personal commercial and the chocolate game, and then towards the end of the show, she did the door prize drawing. So that kind of broke it up. And you're going to ask them to fill out the top part of the business builder sheet, and that you'll go over the questions with them.
I think that's fantastic.
So in our example, the woman who did win the raffle, she hadn't even filled it out much, remember?
Right.
And I mean, but you don't go back and say, I mean, I know you don't, but you don't say, sorry, you didn't fill it out, so you don't win.
I would have, if it was not a multi-vendor show, I would have said, oh, I need this completed if you want to be in the
Oh,
raffle.
you would have?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
But
Okay.
I felt really like that second girl's waiting to do her presentation. I
Right.
just wanted to do this.
Oh, okay, okay.
But I have told people before, you need to fill this out if you want to be in the raffle. I've even had somebody tell me before, then I don't want to be in the raffle, and that's fine.
Yeah, absolutely, because
That-
that's the
That
rule,
really is,
so, yeah.
because then that means you don't ever want to be contacted anyway, so
I don't want to.
why would I give you a free
Do you
piece of
get
jewelry?
people ask you what it is, what are you, I'm only gonna fill, I mean, oh, I don't like what the raffle
What is
so I'm
this
not-
going to
yeah.
be used for?
No, do they ever question what you show them? what
Just
you're
a free
gonna
piece of
raffle?
jewelry. Sometimes they'll say, can I pick it out? I'll say, no.
Oh, okay. Can I trade it?
Yeah.
Can you just go over the wording again that you used about, you all want to host a show, so just mark yes. Like what-
Right. So what she does is, so you say, fill out the top part, and then I'll go over the questions with you.
Oh.
Someone's going to win free product or a free piece of jewelry. And then I actually wrote the question on my card because I cannot read it on the Business Builder tear sheet without putting my glasses on, so I put it on big print on my card. So they've already filled out the top part. So now I say, which is just repeating back this question. Would you like to get 50% off your highest price item today and earn free jewelry at your home show by hosting a home show? Okay, I know all of you want to host a home show, so go ahead and mark yes. Right? And then move on to the next question. They will laugh. They always chuckle. But I think I said, and why wouldn't you? Because I'll be there.
Right.
Yeah. So, anytime you can have comedy, do it. Then you read the second question, which you don't need to write this down because it's on the sheet, but would you like to go on a free vacation? We'll go ahead and mark yes, and you'll come to the Atlantis and Bahamas with me. Somebody might ask a question at that point, but you've already done the chocolate game, so they kind of know you're going there. And then lastly, all my business is based on referrals. And so you're going to ask them in whatever way to put down names at the bottom if you know somebody who would be interested in a show or buying some nice product. And it could mean $25 in free jewelry to you. At that point, you're going to do the raffle because you've got the completed sheets. If they're not completed, ask them to complete or they're not in the raffle. And bless you. And you can flavor your presentation wherever you would like with jewelry tips, but I will say that is a great way to upsell. If you feel you're a little too long in one area, maybe not add them in there, but make sure people see. If you have a really busy show and it's hard for you to get to any one of these elements, but somebody asks you a question like, how do you wear this necklace? I do try and gather a couple ladies right around them to make sure that I'm getting some bang for the buck here. So I'll just say, oh, that's really cool. I'm glad you asked about that. So, and then I'll just kind of gather their attention. You might want to see this. Look at how this necklace works. Okay, so that I can get at least maybe doing like little mini presentations. Not every show is the same. Not every show allows you to do everything, but you've got to get this information out in order to make the best of the show. So do it however you can. At your full service checkout, and remember to do that, so you can put this as a note on your card. The note that I have is just remember full service checkout, which I know, so I don't really need to remind myself. But 1 hour show, in and out, nobody gets hurt. I love that. That's Michelle's line. And she'll say, when people are saying no to a show, I know you're really busy. How about just a 1 hour show? I'm just in and out and nobody gets hurt. And they laugh about it, but it sounds easy, doesn't it? Just like for 1 hour, I can find an hour, So you have to do the same amount of inviting. You have to do the same amount of everything, but you're only asking me for an hour. I can do that, And when you're warming up to this person by saying something, kind of funny and everything. So your full service checkout is in CBT 4, and that's where we left off after we were talking about the presentation flow cards. And basically, you want to make sure that you're covering all bases when you're checking somebody out. Now, I don't know if it tells you this in there, so I'm gonna do this for you. When you get somebody to check out, you have these little piles.
I'm good at piles.
You're good at piles? You have recruiting packets, you have hostess packets, and you could have a customer, preferred customer list, but I just write on the receipt. So I just have my 2 stacks, okay? So the psychology behind this, and I wouldn't even know what the theory would be, but anyway, that you're going to get more of a yes by doing this. So if you look at her and you say, Jackie, did you have a good time tonight?
Yes.
You know what I noticed about you? You really enjoyed the jewelry, didn't you? You really had a great time with it. I noticed that I think you would be really good at this because I saw you talking to some other friends about the jewelry tonight. Would you like to take some information home with you tonight?
Sure.
Okay, so when I placed my hand on here, it's more of that personal offer. And I'm talking to you, would you like to take some information home with you tonight? Now she said yes. So now say no.
No.
Oh.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. But now I move to the next stack.
Okay.
I can appreciate that. That might not be important to you right now. However, I think because you love the jewelry so much, it would be a great idea to get your friends together and get a lot of it for free or half off. Would you be interested in getting your highest price item at half off today, which would be saving you $24 and hosting a show with your friends?
Yes.
Okay. So now I've, presented that offer and you've got your hand on that packet. I'm ready to go with that. Okay? But your first offer is the recruiting. Now find something to say about her where you could offer that recruiting packet. It has to be genuine. I'm not saying make something up.
Right.
But there is something. She either liked the jewelry a lot, she liked talking with people, she was funny, she was engaging with people. I don't care what it is, but there is something about each person that you're going to want to offer this opportunity. Or I heard you talking about fundraisers. We have many consultants in our company that purely do fundraisers because it can help their community. Would you be interested in some information about that? So, and then you move your hand from each stack. Now, it's not, when I offered you the home show opportunity, that was a little broken up, but
Right.
how
Sure.
you just find the right words and you just, approach it. If I have a basket of jewelry in front of me, I could say, oh, you would save so much money, have your own home show and we could invite your friends to come to that. It's just a fun night, right? And you take the objections and you just work through that. But you start with the recruiting first.
She's so good with the words.
Oh, and I feel that I'm not, but
Oh, no.
I stumble through it, Some people are like really good, and it just kind of falls right into place.
Well, that's how but honestly, that's what I saw.
Yeah.
Really?
In you at the home show, seeing you that way. So I've seen you train, and it's great, and
But it's better when I'm
flows for
actually
you.
doing
But when you
it.
were doing
Yeah.
it, I thought,
Yeah.
oh yeah, she could do it too in front of people.
It's like open mic, right? I'm much
It
better
is,
when I'm
it
up there,
is.
doing
Yeah.
it. Than when I'm training you on it. I'm much better when I'm doing that.
No, I think the training's awesome.
Yeah.
So that I wasn't sure if it was going to equate back to the
Yeah.
doing it live.
Uh-huh.
I'm thinking people are better at the training versus open mic or vice versa in any kind of career,
Yeah.
right? So it was.
I'm much better live than doing this, because I'm in the moment when I'm doing
That's
that,
right,
and
that's
and I can
true.
really talk. And then I already know you, but I generally don't know that person that's
Right.
sitting down, and I'm saying things like, "We've had so much fun. I really like you. I want to get to know you better. Let's do a show. Let's invite some friends over,
Right.
Because I want to see you again, and I
Mhm.
want to make sure you get everything that you want."
Mhm.
So all those kinds of things are rolling off. It's genuine. But I already know you, Jackie, so it's
Right,
not coming
right.
off as much
Sure,
as
right.
in the moment, kind of thing. So, hope I've explained my flaws carefully.
Because you're recording.
Yeah,
We
because
don't
I'm
think you have
recording
any
them.
flaws.
But, so anyway, touching the stacks are very important. Move from the highest offer down to the lowest. And
Okay.
after you do recruiting and then hostess packet, you're going to want to end with the offer for a fundraiser and being on the preferred customer list. Okay? So when I get past here, she doesn't want to book a show, I'll say, okay, I understand. Let me just let you know that I do fundraisers. Fundraisers are very important to me. It's a way that I can give back to the community. If you are ever in need of a fundraiser, I hope that you will contact me. My information is in the bag. And speaking of my information, I would like to get your information because I do send out specials every month. Would you be interested in getting, I only send out 1 to 2 emails per month. Now I preface that because when you ask somebody for their email, they think it's going to be spam.
Mhm.
So I say, I send out 1,
did
maybe
notice you
2
said that.
emails per month. Okay? And a lot of times people will say yes, but people are very honest and they'll say no, thank you. That's fine. That's just fine. Do you send out sales? Sometimes there are.
I hear that more.
Mhm.
But, I hear that when I talk about it.
Yeah.
People will say, "Oh, yeah, but will you send me sale items?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I do have little flash sales.
Do you?
Yeah,
Okay.
I do. Like I'll say, today is military discount day. You call me, if you are in the military or your husband's in the military or your wife's in the military, you call me by the end of today and your order is 50% off.
Okay.
Wow.
you know. So I do it more for military than for anything else. But it's just, and I call it like a flash sale because you're not going to get any notice because I want to make sure you read my email. And so I'm training you to read my emails.
Yeah, and then when they do call for someone else, oh, did you get my
You
email?
missed my
you missed
sale.
my
Oh,
You're
darn.
already thinking like that.
No, I said it in my training.
Oh.
Yeah.
She said
Oh, you
before.
went to that. That's
Yeah.
right.
Mm-hmm. Oh, darn, you missed that sale. Keep watching those emails because I have those sales.
Right.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. So, hey, I didn't have all these ideas in the beginning. So nobody should, it's just like you go through years and years, you go, oh, well, what if I do this? What if I do this? That's where experience is like, there is nothing special about Kathy Buter. There is only like, she's gone through trial and error over
Right,
time, right?
11 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
All the words are so nice.
Well-
and
Because
they're
because you just have a way of like,
they're not your
and I'm a
face.
chatterer. I mean, I like to talk to people, but the way you said like, I really noticed that you were looking at all the jewelry and trying it on, and but I mean, you just like
Yeah.
slid right into her.
Well, remember, I started with a compliment. That's what I did.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really
That's true.
complimenting her on either I noticed that. Noticing something about somebody is a compliment in itself.
That's true.
So I noticed that you did
They are
that.
letting them know
And
that
you know what?
listened because
You
you
look
heard they were
so
talking
good
about it.
in that red necklace and it's not in your basket. Why is it not in your basket?
Right.
Because I just can't afford it right now. Oh, I got to make sure you get that red necklace. Let's at least, take some catalog orders, or let's have a couple girlfriends over so you can get it at half off.
Right.
You were
Right.
so good. I need to come
I
watch you.
know.
What's your next show? I'm coming to watch you.
Yeah, I have basically only 2 shows in March because I'm in the middle of studying for my real estate exam and I just
Oh, you
can't.
are?
Yeah, I just can't put any more on my plate. And then I'm going to go see Julianne, I think, at the end of March for
Oh,
her,
are you?
for her CD release show.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh my gosh,
yeah.
how
So
exciting.
Oh, you'll have
I
to
got a
tell
lot
me where
going
is that.
on.
Where's that going to be?
she told me. I'll get that information.
Yeah, I'll have to
Because
remember.
maybe your daughter will
I
go.
know. I know. Yeah.
Yeah,
gotta
so I'm
put that
really
in a
I'm really
different note.
excited about
Our
that.
daughters both live in Chicago.
Chicago, yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah. So that's going to be fun. So I
That's at
thought
the end of March? Man, I'm going to make notes.
March 29th is the CD release show.
Okay.
My exam is March 21st.
Easter weekend.
So, the March 29th, yeah. It's also my oldest daughter's birthday. So she's like, great, you're going out of town.
Oh, I
on
was
my
saying she's
birthday."
not going with you?
No, I can't. Yeah, there's only so many tickets I could get, right? Okay, so we're moving on to number 5, which is follow-up.
Yeah, your presentation at launch was fantastic.
Oh, thank you. Well, I just printed out a condensed version of that on 2 pages. Even though I've sent it out to you guys, I just printed a 2-page condensed version on it.
And I printed the whole thing out. I thought it was awesome.
Thank you so
That's
much.
because I wasn't at yours.
Yeah.
I was in the Midwest one, so.
So here's 4 copies of that, and we'll pass that around. Yes, please get whatever you need to eat. Are you cold?
Usually I'm sweating.
My house is so cold in the wintertime, I'm telling you.
I should have
It's just...
I'm always sweating. I'm the one who opens
Yeah,
the door.
I'm always-
Here, I'll put a blanket on you.
With a little tank top,
Right?
because I'm always hot,
It's
yeah.
an age.
Here's a blanket.
Oh, look at you. Thank you. Now I can't eat my salad. 'cause
Yes,
I
you
got all
can.
the blankets.
You won't get it on the blanket. Yeah, it can be 70 degrees outside, but my house is cold in the winter. And of course, in the summer, it's very hot.
Right.
I see.
So, here, Patty, can you pass these around then? So it's, oh wait, it's 1, 2, 3, and 4. I guess I did it on 4 pages. So this is one set. 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is another set.
Thank you. Yes.
Another set, and another set. Does it?
I don't know why. Like I said, I'm never cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, So we're doing pretty well. We're at 1. Oh, so we kind of have to.
It's 1 o'clock. Well, we didn't
It's
start.
almost 1. Yeah, yeah. So we're booking along here. Okay. So,
But we're on fire.
if you were at the training or if you were not at the training, you should know by now that follow-up is so huge. It makes a huge impression on somebody for you to follow up with them. It does show that you care, and it will lead you to more business.
Yeah, this is where Kathy and her words come in again. Because
Yeah.
you have to make it sound sincere and like you care.
You do, you
Because they'll
do.
feel special.
Right, exactly.
It's just like in the service industry,
Right.
they're presenting you with a check, call them by name.
Yeah,
They feel so
They do.
special.
They do.
Even though it's right there.
yeah.
You don't have to memorize it.
Right,
It's on the
right.
check, it's on the credit card.
So it says follow-up is, and your fill-in is Grand Canyon. Follow-up is the Grand Canyon in our business. Very true.
Meaning, it's huge, it's deep, it's wide,
Yes.
it's impossible to cross.
Well, no, not impossible to cross. That it is your business can fall off the edge. Your business can fall through these cracks. That's a huge crack for your business to be falling through.
Yeah, it's a big
So,
hole.
yeah, you need to be able to get a handle on that.
It's like the San Andreas.
Follow up to every business interaction you have will build a great customer service reputation. So, great customer service. And customers will return again and again to business people who deliver what they promised and who call to see if they are pleased with their purchase. That's what I was starting out my presentation with at product launch. Who deliver what they promised and who call to see if they are pleased with their purchase.
That's,
So now on orders, I always follow, what is it? Am I going to say it backwards? Over promise, under deliver? I don't know. But you know what I mean. If I know I can get it to them within 7 days, I'll say that they'll have their product within 10 days because they're pleasantly surprised when they have it in 7. Okay?
There's so much psychology in this.
Yeah.
business. It's unbelievable.
There
I mean,
is.
in the corporate world, I'm a project manager, it's the same thing.
Mhm.
You say when you're gonna deliver whatever's due, and you really add a day or two if you can, and you
Yeah.
know you're gonna get it in earlier, and then the customer's
Yeah.
like, oh,
When they open that up, they're like,
exactly.
I got it early. I really am going to have it for this weekend or whatever, so I got it early. And then calling to check up and see how she likes her jewelry is just something nobody does. I don't mean just in Cookie Lee. I'm just saying in our world, people don't do that. But when they do, you remember that and you will go back to that person. So the 48-hour difference. And that's 48 hours after a home show. Your fill-in is after. Most consultants would agree the end of a home show is when you say goodbye to your hostess. No, that is not the end of your home show. Move your home show finish line 48 hours after your show. And then within those 48 hours, call the following 4 groups of people. But I'm going to speak to this a little bit before I give you those 4 groups of people. So it was the 48-hour difference after a home show. Most consultants would agree the end of a home show was when you say goodbye to your hostess. Move your home show finish line 48 hours. Within the 48 hours, call the following 4 groups of people. Okay, so when let's say you were to have a home show with another vendor. So you were having a Pampered Chef party, and you invited people, and you said, and you had, after it all whittled down, you had 10 people coming, and then of course a couple hours before the show, you had about 7 people coming. There were 3 cancellations. Now the 3 people that canceled had every intention of coming, and so they were going to buy what they wanted when they got to the show. But they didn't come. So now you have the 7 people that are there. Who's going to take care of those 3 people? They didn't order ahead of time because they thought they were coming. They didn't order ahead of time because they thought they were coming. So I leave every one of my shows open after the show. It's a great benefit to settle it all up that night, but you're missing out on sales because there are people that didn't get to come. So I will tell the hostess afterwards, so far you've earned this. $45 free and 4 items at half off, whatever it is. But you're only $30 away from the next level. And I know there's people here that weren't able to come tonight. So take the catalog back to work and these order forms. Let's at least get to that next level so that you can get another item free or another item half off. She will. She will at least get to that next level. Most often, she will get to the next level beyond that. Because those 3 friends said, did you bring the catalog back? I'm sorry I couldn't make it. And they almost feel obligated now to order because they said they were coming
Right.
and they didn't come. So why are we missing out on those sales? We've got to get those sales after the
It
fact.
just happened to me.
Yeah.
I got to a show and she was like, 4 people just canceled because they changed the duty and now they had to stay on duty. I did not even think about, well, they were going to come, so why don't we?
Right.
They were interested.
They were interested. Yeah. You can follow up with them. Do you have jewelry to deliver to the hostess?
No.
No. Well, you can even ask her, can I come in and just show the gals that couldn't come, or whatever. But you can follow up with them. And you can give the hostess a new incentive. You can say, you only got 1 item half off that night because nobody came. Let's just keep it open, even from right now. Well, how much time do I have? They always ask that. How much time do I have? How much do you want? You can have a week. Okay, we'll keep it open. So settle up their account that night if you can, but leave the opportunity open for them to get more. So the reason why I say settle up that night is if you wait and they pick out all their stuff later, if they don't get any more orders, then they won't get any more jewelry. But if they buy what they are intending to buy, and then later they end up with more free, they'll pick something else. So now that's moved another piece. Okay? So you can do this by phone call, email that night, or you can send your thank you card the next day reminding them of how close they are to the next level. That is what I do. I tell them that night, and the next day I send the thank you card and say, remember, you're only $35 away from that next level. Yep. Call me if you have any questions. I can help. We process credit cards just by you collecting an email address. That's all I
I
need.
love that.
Yeah.
Love that. That's how I do
Yeah.
all my billing.
Through
I
propane.
love.
Yeah. Okay, so that's part of follow-up.
Is that
Propane,
Nothing? Okay.
So remember I said within those 48 hours, you're going to call the following 4 groups of people. One is your hostess. Now, you talk to her that night. You can call her the next day or you can send that card. You're thanking her. You're letting her know where she is in her show sales. But also, let's put a little recruiting seed in there. I noticed how well you spoke to all those. Your friends would buy from you. If you were a consultant, your friends would buy from you. They loved the jewelry. Oh, I'm just not a salesperson. Oh, yes, you are. I saw you last night. Yes, you are. And neither was I when I started. But I saw you last night. You're miles ahead of me.
Yeah, when I joined, my husband
And they like
always
that. They
said
consider
I
that a
could do it.
compliment because
It's a
they don't feel that
compliment.
they are.
Yeah.
That's right, and I never
Yeah.
thought that I was. My husband always thought that I was. And
Yeah.
then when I did sign up and just came home and said, "Oh, I'm finally signed up," he was like, "Well, it's about time."
Yeah.
I have one, she's gonna be the most fantastic consultant, but her husband said no. She's 20 years old.
Yeah.
She has a baby and she's finishing school. And she was like, she is gonna be on fire
Yeah.
when she finally gets to be able to do it. But I can't ask her anymore because she's like, my husband said no, I have to wait till I finish school and all of that. So I'm just
Let's wait till she turns maybe 25.
Well, the
No.
best time for her to join would be when she has the support of her husband. Otherwise, he will
Right.
make sure that she fails.
That's true.
And then if she is short on time, maybe when she's out of school.
Yeah.
But then I would probably say to her, why don't you give me the first 4 months, your quick success period, and let's really show your husband what you can earn in those 4 months. Really show him how this is a viable
I
business
was
for
going
you.
to say, because you do need to make sure you have your spouse's support.
Mhm.
And some of us, especially when we're younger, the husbands will say no, and you don't think twice because you're newly married, or right? You don't think, well, I don't want to rock the boat. If he says no, he must. That's okay.
Mhm.
But helping them, helping give suggestions because we are experienced and probably most of us been married for a long time. Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
And I've also said to her, you can put all your earnings away for Riley's college. Can you imagine if you start now when he's only 1?
Exactly.
How much money you can put away just put your Cookie Lee money away.
Right.
And she was like, I know, that's a great idea.
Well, her husband can come to a team meeting too. He can also, you
that's
can
true.
also sit down with the husband and answer questions so that she's not relating it back.
And if she's at school, she has a lot of people right there.
She does.
Recruit.
Yeah.
She start getting contact.
Why not make some lunch money?
She just gave me one.
There you go. Even just the lunch money
Lunch
instead
money.
of the long term of college for your 1-year-old. The husband's going to want to see something tangible
Right.
right
Yeah.
now. So absolutely.
Yeah, what if I told you that I could take care of one bill every month,
Yes.
through Cookie Lee?
Be tangible. Yeah.
Think your husband would be interested in that?
So I'm going to rev that back up. She's graduating, I think, in May.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm
Oh, well, that's
giving her
good.
a little bit of time because I don't want to stress her out, And she's a family friend.
Yeah.
I've known her
Yeah.
forever. So, but she is.
But you could sit down with her husband too. Let me answer questions.
That's true.
That's true.
Yeah. I wouldn't do it. No, I'm kidding.
Yes, you would.
Yes, I would. Okay, the second group of people, the no-shows. Okay, this is kind of what we're talking about on following up to get more orders. But if you have their information, you want to be able to offer them the opportunity to book, to order, to become a consultant, refer business to you. Those are the 4-point calls. So if you have their information or you can get their information, which is easier than you think, if you say to the hostess, were there some people that were not able to make it here tonight? Yes, there was a carload of people that said they were going to make it here, but the car broke down. If you have their contact information, I will call and offer them all the opportunities that everyone else heard here tonight. She can give you the email addresses. And you can send an email the next day. I'm so sorry that you missed the show. I just want to let you know that Mary's show is still open. So you're welcome to order, and that will really help her get to the next level. You can also book your own show and get free jewelry. Are you interested in hearing more about Cookie Lee? Apply the 4-point call.
Anybody wants some salad? I made a huge one just in case. Is anybody interested in some salad?
No, thank
You want some?
Sure. Sure.
Oh, how nice.
And then the third is the outside orders. Anybody who presented an outside order, you want to make sure they know of all the opportunities. A little tip here on outside orders, I always deliver a catalog back when I send the order. Because generally the hostess showed them a catalog and took it back because you only gave her 2 in the packet.
Right.
So I want to make sure when I deliver the order that this person who ordered gets a catalog.
Oh, okay.
And of course, potential recruits. Offer them the opportunity. Okay, so my handout was my training. And so we're just going to quickly go over that. And it's 4 pages, so I really condensed it down too. But we talked about the statistics at first. 44% of all salespeople quit trying after the first call.
Oh, good. You wrote where you heard that.
Yeah.
'Cause
94% of all sales are made after the 4th call. So until somebody says, don't call me anymore, find a reason to call back. Now, most often your new contacts come from 2 sources, out and about or at a home show. And so a little bit what we talked about earlier is how if we're asking yes or no questions, then that's kind of what we're going to get back, right? So we need to ask better questions. So if you're out and about and she compliments you on the jewelry, and instead of just saying, well, thank you, you could say, fabulous, I have some great show dates available, and I know you're just going to love the jewelry in this catalog, so why don't I take down your email and phone and send you an email with my show dates, saving you a step. This is after she is saying, I'll call you. Now, why don't I just take your email and phone? It'll save you a step. I'm going to send you my contact information. You'll have it in your email, and now you can answer back. So find a way to get that information. It does talk about here the sticky note, which we already covered. Now, earlier you were asking me, Linda, about, sitting with me when I make calls. And I did express to you that most of the time, my bookings are coming from, proportionately, they come from the home show. It's harder for somebody to say no at a show than it is over the phone. And it's harder for them to see me smile, than, when you're over the phone.
That's true.
Okay? So I want people to recognize when you have a captive audience, you need to work that, because that's what's going to continue your business. And that's why I said, you want to have that goal of 3 home shows before you get there. We want to really work hard to get those dated and on our calendar, and that's what continues our business. So don't pass up the opportunities for making sure everybody knows all the opportunities. We talked about full service checkout. That's what's in here. And then how we move on from there on developing our client list. I don't have a business builder pad in front of me, but you know what they are, the business builder tear sheets. That's what you're going to use for your raffles, what you're going to use for collecting data. If by chance you have not collected data on someone, and it could work to the point where somebody says, I don't need to be in the raffle. Mm-hmm. I might be collecting their data on my receipt pad. Okay. And so I will say, of course I'm putting their name down, unless they're paying cash, and I'll still ask for a first name, but I'm collecting their information, and I will ask, would you like to be in my email club where I just send out 1 or 2 specials a month, and then they'll say yes or no. Okay, so now I have that information. I've asked them about becoming a consultant and about booking a show. Now, there's going to be some responses here that are not just yes or no. It's generally, I am just way too busy. Oh, really? Well, what do you do? Where do you work at? Well, I work at, I'm a nurse. Oh, that's so awesome, and then whatever else she tells me from there, I write that on that receipt. So I'll put nurse, I'll put, maybe show or something like that, and I might ask her, well, how about a catalog show? I mean, you've got a lot of people, at the hospital, and there's probably some time there where you might want to look through a catalog, if you're working the night shift, if that's what she told me. Yeah, I might take a catalog. How about if I follow up with you and see how that show's going? So I'm getting that information, and I'm just taking it step by step. I would like everybody to leave with some sort of opportunity, some sort of door that I can open later and follow up with later. So I'm not letting you leave. So now we're going to organize this. If I wrote it on the receipt, I'm going to transfer it to an index card, not these big ones, but the ones that are the same size as the receipt. And I will put down everything that I've gathered from that, from meeting her. So I will put down her name, her cell phone number, her email address. I'll put where I met her, so that will jar my memory. Anything else that I learned about her that day, she's a cute blonde, she likes pink, anything like that. I take that information and not only write it on the card, but when I put her contact in my email, I will put that in the notes section. Anything on any contact system where you put something in the notes or comments or whatever they call it, you can search by that. So if I put possible hostess, then the next time I want to search for possible hostesses, I can just type in possible at the top of my contacts, and it's going to bring up everybody that I had the word possible next to. Mm-hmm. If I put she loves pink jewelry and I type pink at the top, then it's going to come up with everybody that I put that notation down. And a new Insider Club just came out and it's all pink, and I know I'm going to send not just the Insider Club click e-card to her, but I'm going to send a specific email to her or call her and say, you've got to see this, because I know that you love pink. So it really takes no more time than after you've written it on the card to take just another couple extra seconds. When you put in the contact information, put that information down in the notes. When she calls you and you type in her name and it says, oh, you met her at, Becky's show or something like that, now you'll remember. You don't even have to find the card. You're going to remember different things by what the notes you put down there. Okay, I put the same sort of notes in my calendar after I book the show. Notes that actually help me, so that wherever I am, I can call on my shows and check on them and see how they're going. So in the calendar, if it was October 10th, I'll say, Kathy Buter's show, and I'll put her phone number and email address down. And then I'm going to put the dates that I called her. I called her on, and I just do it real cryptically, like 9-1 and I'll put REM for remind and INV for invites. That means I called her, and if it doesn't say message next to it, then it means I actually spoke with her. And I said, invite reminder 9-1. So I spoke with her, I told her to send out those invites. If it was a message, I'll put message 9-1 invite reminder. Okay, so I know that I've done that. I could check my PDA at any time. Oh my gosh, I haven't called her yet, and I know what to do. So, and now I know how to contact my hostess too. That phone number and email is there. Wherever I am, I can do that. And then I talked about how a really good follow-up system is the 2+2+2. And that's the 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months. So if you don't know how to start, this is a really good way to start following up with people. And the 2-day call, so you've made, let's say you have your business builder tear sheet or you have your index card, and now you've got this stacked up and ready to start making your calls. The 2-day call, or within that range, right, is just to see how everything's going, how they like the jewelry, and it's sort of like, it's going to make an impression. She called me. Now, you can't call everybody. Sometimes you have to be selective. Sometimes you don't have phone numbers for people. But the ones that I do have, I'm going to make that call. I don't really find it's worth it to send an email for that. Then it just seems like too many emails. But if I have the phone number and I would have taken it, if I know I'm going to be following up with her, then I will call her. You can leave a message too. Just checking in, see if there's anything I could do. I remembered you liked that matching pair of earrings, but you didn't get them. Now that you've been wearing the necklace, maybe you would like to get that. So just give me a call. Just check in.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
When I first started, I always send a really nice thank you note to the hostess.
Yes.
But I had printed off some of those Cookie Leaf postcards, and I was just dropping a note to everybody who was at the party.
Yeah.
Just like, hey, it was great to see you, and blah, blah. And I was wondering if that's a waste of time or if that's a good thing to do.
I don't think that's a waste of time. I think it probably takes a lot of time, and then, of course, there is postage.
Mhm.
But you know, in these days, you can text somebody, you can just leave a really quick, you know, I'm just following up with everybody from the show. I know that you enjoyed yourself. If there's anything I can do for you, just give me a call.
Because I definitely put it in if I'm delivering jewelry to
Right,
somebody.
well,
I
yes.
put one in
Yeah,
there, but-
put a thank you card in there.
All right, that's
Mhm.
great. Thanks.
The second call, which is about 2 weeks after the sale, on this call, you're coming from a place of service. Are you enjoying your jewelry? Are you still getting compliments? You know, that is opening the door for recruiting. They're still getting compliments, right? Wow, you know, we find that a lot with Cookie Lee jewelry. Wouldn't it be great? I mean, if you need to make some extra money, you could be the consultant, and every time somebody compliments you on your jewelry, you could be making the sale. So you're continuing to build a relationship.
Which go with the people that say, I don't want to sell it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And the next thing you know,
On the third call, 2 months after the sale, you're just touching base. I think they're really surprised on a 2-month call just as well, you know. But you've now made 3 calls to her. You obviously like her. You're building a relationship with her. She's probably going to remember your name more than anybody else's. You're sending her emails. You might have sent her a couple by now. You know, so you're becoming her Cookie Lee girl. So it's really important to stay in touch with these people, not just by email, but also by phone. Set it up in some sort of pattern and manner that you'll be able to manage. And I think 2+2+2 really works for that. Subscribe to Click, of course. I mean, just no question. So that you can use that. You can see what people are opening, what they're not opening. Control the drip. I think that's really, really important, which is sending 1 to 2 maximum emails per month. My husband had said in the beginning, this is where I went through this story, it was really about Patty on stage, but she wasn't even in the class. But I said, when I started my business, he said, you need to constantly drip on people. And so I said, okay. So he said, you need to collect email addresses. I didn't even have an email address when I joined. And I was just like, I'm not doing that. What happened with the phone? You know, people just use the phone. But I was not a business person either. And so knowing that there's just no possible way to manage by calling everybody over the phone, there's just no way, right? So email you really have to have. But I did what he said, and I started collecting those email addresses from day one and just staying in touch with my customers and everything. And that's really worked out. And so the story was with Patty, I mean, she had been getting my emails for 3 years before she ever contacted me once. Yeah. Right?
Mm-hmm.
She didn't order again. She didn't book a show, nothing like that. But 3 years later, after I'm sending these emails, when she decided it was the right time for her, I suppose there was probably no question on who to call then because she's been getting my emails every month.
Right.
Right? And then she even said she had gone to a jewelry party of another company, had an issue or something with a piece of jewelry, and that girl never called her back or something. So that burned that bridge right
Yeah.
there.
I've had that happen.
Right?
Sure.
So, which I just think, that's a fabulous story to be able to relate to and tell people about. But it's not the first time that it's happened, but it's so gratifying to know that, okay, so I set something up and I was doing this, and as long as somebody's getting my email every month, they think when it's the right time for them, 3 years later, then they know who to call.
I had that with somebody I met at a vendor event that I went to 2 years in a row. I didn't know, but she gave me her email, and she would get the when the catalog came out, and so it was almost a year ago when Spring Summer came out last year. She just called me
Yeah.
and said, "Oh, I love one of the $20 necklaces. I want to give one to all my cousins. We're a girl, we go out family girls thing, and we have these cheap, buy them at the gumball machine necklaces as our little thing we wear. I want them all to have this one." And I thought, and then she actually remembered more about me than I did about her because she hadn't bought anything.
Yeah.
She said, "Don't you remember I work in the building across from where you work?" And I'm like, and then I remembered, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, so there you go." And then this Christmas, she contacted me again because she needs more.
Oh, okay.
I know. I mean, she lives, somewhat near me, and it was a couple days before Christmas, so I didn't mind driving it to her house, and right,
Yeah.
Great.
So
Just
it
never
was
know.
surprised. It did. It very much surprised me.
It's awesome. So just setting that up in a system that works for you, that, Click is very helpful with that. And I listed some examples there, and remember I just talked about the military discount one that I do. I put deadlines on all my offers so that people know not to forget about it. They should probably just act on it. And then I talked about in this training how the consultant basic training talks about 48 hours. I believe there's a 24-hour difference and a 2-hour difference too. I have lost out on recruit leads before because I did not answer. I was out and about or whatever, and I figured I'd just answer when I got home. And so I learned this because it would be the same with me too. And how I learned it is I think one day I was calling Cheryl when she still lived here, and I said, "Oh, I just got a recruit lead." And she said, "Just what's her name?" And I go, "Holly," whatever it was. She goes, "Oh my gosh, I'm meeting with a Holly." And it ends up to be the same person. Mm-hmm. Now, why was that? Because if she goes online and she's now excited, when somebody gets to that point and they're excited and they want to find somebody, and I would do the very same thing. Mm-hmm. You didn't call me back in like 20 minutes, I got to find somebody else.
Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. Right.
I want answers. I'm going to do this right now because my friends are going to buy. And they are going to keep hitting that button, and that lead is going to go out to 20 different consultants. So you have a smartphone, your emails come into your phone, you can at least say, "Would love to talk with you, what's a good time? I'm going to be home in an hour, I could give you a call then. Or I could send you information in an hour when I get home." At least she knows you're going to contact her back, right? Otherwise, she's going back into the system. So that's really important on follow-up. All website leads should be within 2 hours, even if it's not the full amount of information.
So while you're speaking of that,
Yes.
because I like how you explained to us, and now I don't remember. How do you get in the queue for being on the website, Paul?
It's online. It shows you the qualifications, but basically, if you're not recruiting within a quarter, you're not going to get recruit leads. But if you purchase a certain amount, you'll get booking leads. Okay. So if somebody goes on there and they just say that they want information about the business, you won't get that lead unless you've recruited within that quarter.
And it's a round robin, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like you let's say purchase $5,000, Kathy Buter does, or in sales that month, and I did 250 or whatever. I'm like at the minimum of whatever.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. As long as you've made that requirement,
Okay.
you're in the queue.
Okay.
And if you got a lead, then you're not going to get the next lead. It's going to go to
Correct.
someone else.
Okay.
Yeah.
Never gotten one. Take a while.
It's just zip code.
Well, and see, and I think that's going to be the difference. I know Debbie on my team, she's gotten a couple of leads. She's out in Corona of people, not, and she panned out. And I was really, I've done this longer than you and I haven't had one, but I'm in Irvine,
Yeah.
which is right next to Tustin, which is right next to
But
where
most
Cookie's thing
leads,
is,
most leads come for recruiting. So if you haven't met the recruiting requirement, then you don't get those leads.
that's
But as
interesting
soon
to
as you
know.
start, well, because they'll check the box, earn extra money. That's recruiting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I need to look at those requirements.
yeah. So that's what you want.
Did you get going on that?
You get going on that. Okay, so we're going to talk about recruiting next in CBT 6, and we're going to step it up just a little bit, and I've got a couple of handouts for this.
Get you a plate and put them-
I'll probably just wait because I want to get through. You can go ahead and eat, but I'll probably just wait. I would love a salad
Well, I
though.
mean, I want to share it with you. So I
Yes.
don't want to eat
Oh,
out.
go ahead and get a plate and do yours.
Is this, am I passing you
Yes.
that or are you still dividing?
No, go ahead.
Tell me what
That's
you want.
one, that's two,
Okay, I'll
This
get
is
up, I'll get the
3.
holes. Okay.
and this is 4.
What's that?
Is it me? Yes. Oh, she sent me the contact.
Do you have an
info.
iPhone? You said you do, right?
Yeah. She sent me the information.
The lady? The Disney cruise lady?
Yeah.
I don't know.
What, you need a plate?
Yes.
Right up above the toaster?
Oh, over there. The only cupboard you didn't look at, of course, right?
The farthest one from the
It's the natural cupboard, isn't it, for dishes?
It should be right over the dishwasher.
Oh,
You lug them all the way across the room like this?
I do. Is that wrong?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're outside of your triangle.
It's
Your
so-
kitchen and your sink and your stove should all have a triangle
It's
of
so
what you take
inefficient.
and wash.
Your
You know what?
cookies should be right there.
I gotta tell you, we are toast people. We want that plate right there.
Oh, there
You
you
know
go.
what? I would move your toaster
Yeah.
there and put your phone over there. Sorry.
It's funny, it's just been natural. We got
Oh,
the
that is
glasses.
so
Glasses and
the
coffee cups are by the coffee
That's
maker. The
awesome.
plates
That's
are by the
perfect.
toast.
Then that is your very large.
Organizing
Not
kitchens
triangle.
is, my thing.
Yeah.
My first thought was,
So
the
I'm-
dishes should be right there.
You know what? They should.
But the toaster's not.
I think those cabinets are not as deep as the other one. That must have been what it was.
Oh, I
I'm
hate
not
that. That's
sure.
how
I
mine
can't
goes.
stand those cabinets that aren't deep enough.
I know,
Yeah,
that's how mine
I'm
are.
not sure. Okay, so we're gonna kind of bump through recruiting.
This is gonna go.
Did everybody get a set?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. We're on 6.
Yes.
Okay. Let's just see. I'm so thrilled that Linda, you had these little outlines because these are the ones we're covering.
Oh, and I had
My
one
printer.
more. Okay.
Oh,
Stop.
awesome.
I know.
One more.
See,
From a prior meeting, I had all of chapter 4.
you were meant to be here.
I know. I
One,
know. Tried to
two,
talk ourselves out.
3, 4. Okay, here's one more for each person. That's a third handout.
4. Put it in the bag.
Okay, so this one has 3 handouts that I'm giving you, and I think she's hole punching the third.
This is just one each.
And
Yeah. No, yeah, you can pass it.
for homework on this section, I don't care where you write it, but you are going to hold 5 recruiting interviews in the next 30 days.
That was okay, I will.
Of course.
It was interesting.
Uh-huh. Now, if you think you don't have potentials to do that, you can certainly call friends and say, I need to practice on you. But my homework is 5 recruiting interviews in 30 days.
The official kind with your cards and everything? Or just the.
Packet, the whole gig.
You're going to go to Starbucks and you're going to have a cup of coffee and you're going to use the recruiting cards, yeah.
Okay.
What
I
you'll
need one more
find,
person.
what you'll find is that sometimes through your practice on your friend that you already discounted and would never want to do this, all of a sudden says, that kind of sounds good.
Who do I know?
Yeah, that kind of sounds good.
That's true.
So that's homework. That is something you'll have to say
Wait,
to your
excuse me,
friend.
by the end of March.
Just 30 days, yeah.
30
so
days. I thought it
30
was,
days.
okay.
Well, you could say the end of March then.
No, no,
'cause
no,
we're a
no,
week
I was
between
thinking,
there.
I just
Yeah, yeah.
lost track.
Okay, so that's your homework. Okay. All right, we're going to go through this kind of quickly, which means we may not be able to fill in all the things. But on the first page, recruiting is the lifeline of your business. It is your second income stream. You know, that's why only make one income when you can make two. What more do I need to say on that? Recruiting is a gift. That's where you need to be in that process. Okay, I'm doing this because of this. That's been a gift to me. I need to tell people about this gift. And recruiting is a process. Most of the time, you're afraid of rejection, so we don't talk to people about it. It may not be so much that you don't want to recruit, but you don't know how.